If you've ever judged a road trip by how good you were doing on time, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, folks. Welcome back to another episode of Benzinga's Pre-Market Playbook. I'm glad to be back, and it is yet another Victory Monday here today that we are going to celebrate. We do have some news to go over. We've got some stuff happening today, and of course, we've got movers. Got a little treat of an interview here this morning. We got 13 coming on in a little bit. We're going to kick off another great week here. And just to get it out of the way, congratulations to all of you Europeans, and most importantly, the producer for the European team winning the Ryder Cup. Congratulations to the Europeans. However, Benzinga's pre-market playbook for Monday, September 29th, starts right now. Good morning and welcome back to this absolutely glorious and crisp Victory Monday. It is great to see a whole bunch of returning faces here today, starting off with Kayla, who is first. Good morning, Kayla, and congrats on being first. Francis, good morning. Welcome back. Cad Monkey, good morning. Welcome back. It's good to see you. Jane, welcome back. Good as always. Sun-Kissed Yogi, welcome back. It is good to see you again as always as well. Peter, good morning. Zach says, what a comeback in the Ryder Cup USA, even if it was not enough. Great game. So full disclosure here. I opened up a Sirius XM radio trial specifically for this weekend so that I could A, listen to the Ryder Cup, and B, listen to the Sunday morning football game because I knew I was going to be on the road. And I got to say, although I won't pay for it because I pay for Spotify instead, Sirius XM radio was awesome this weekend. I golfed twice. I listened to the Ryder Cup while I was out on the course. Got to be honest with you, was really disappointed in how the U.S. played. Didn't see much of yesterday, but heard that they made a scorching comeback. At least it was good watching. Congratulations once again to all the Europeans. Neville, good morning. Welcome back. Bobby, good morning. Welcome back. Tom, good morning. Welcome back. Tom, playoff baseball starts this week. This is some of the best time of the year. We got hoodie weather outside. We got playoff baseball. We got the NFL heating up. It's good to be alive, Tom, and I am happy to be here with all of you. Hoot, good morning. Welcome back. Chuck, good morning. Cam, good morning. Candace, good morning. Producer, good morning. Congratulations. Yassine, good morning. Bears won, Packers tied. Good morning. I see you, Ryan. Love the shirt. Yassine, bear down, baby. Bear down, baby. It's a good Victory Monday. Special K, good morning. Durkus, good morning. Tyler, good morning. Big Dave, welcome back, and good morning. Big Bear Hug, welcome back to Bears. Bears, let's go. Ezra, good morning. Kevin, good morning. Another Kevin, good morning. We got multiple Kevins in here. We got the Unpopular Truth. Good morning, Unpopular Truth. We're all about truth around here, so even if it's unpopular, you are welcome. Brian, good morning. Abby, good morning. Rooster, good morning. Arhan, good morning. Mike, good morning. Reaching Financial Freedom, good morning. The Philanthropic Baker, good morning from Chicago Traders. What bakery do you work at? I've got a friend that's a professional baker. Welcome. Hopefully you enjoy yourself. Brian, good morning. Mets are the most disappointing. Yep, Pete Alonso opting out. He is tired of that stuff. Sorry about your team, Bri. Jim, good morning. Welcome back. Highland Performance, good morning. Welcome back. Knights Lance, good morning. Hans YOLO. I absolutely love that YouTube handle so much. Welcome back. It's good to see you. Hopefully you had a good weekend. White Chocolate Mocha, good morning. Yes, that girl, good morning. JJ, good morning. Shika, good morning. Boggy's Adventures, good morning. Kevin, good morning. And Crimp Biscuit, good morning. Folks, let's get started with the stock market today. All right, starting out with the S&P futures here, or the futures in general, green across the board on this Monday morning. S&P futures up by 0.46% ahead of Monday's open. Dow futures up 0.34%, and the NASDAQ leading the way higher, up by 0.58%. Now let's take a look at some cues from the last session. Materials, utilities, and consumer discretionary stocks recorded the biggest gains on Friday, while consumer staples bucked the overall market trend by closing the session lower. This broad strength helped U.S. stocks settle higher following the release of the inflation data. Inflation figures released on Friday showed no surprises, but indicated the Fed's need for caution on its rate cut cycle. The Personal Consumption Expenditures, or PCE price index, rose by 2.7% year over year in August, up from 2.6% in July, which matched the forecast, The core PCE, which excludes food and energy and is closely watched by the Fed, remained flat at 2.9, which was in line with expectations. Major indices, however, recorded losses last week, with the NASDAQ falling 0.7, the S&P losing 0.3, and the Dow falling 0.2. Now, on deck for today, as futures advance, gold prices also hit a new all-time high on Monday morning, with investors overlooking the possibility of a Trump-led government shutdown. While the market appears calm, a key risk that looms with the near certainty of a shutdown is a potential blackout for crucial economic data that could leave investors and policymakers flying blind. I personally, my thought on this is I've seen this a whole bunch of times. They're just kicking the can. They likely get a deal done in the 11th hour. To me, this is much ado about nothing. And I actually chuckle at the Trump-led government shutdown. Yeah. Cool story, bro. The 10-year Treasury bond yielded 4.14%, and the 2-year bond yielded 3.62%. All right, let's get some insights here from analysts. Investors shrugged off the near certainty of a government shutdown. How about that? Just read another paragraph and it looks awfully different. As Wall Street weighed the limited immediate financial fallout against the more significant risks of a prolonged political impasse. According to Jim Bianco, president of Bianco Research, LLC, the market's muted reaction is logical as the initial shock is often minimal. He notes that while a shutdown matters for many reasons, quote, its initial impact on security prices or exchange rates should be negligible. There is a thread in here from Jim. He does some pretty good research. I'll throw that in here just in case any of you are interested in that. The primary concern for financial markets, Bianco argues, is not the shutdown itself, but the suspension of government services that produce vital economic statistics. Quote, the biggest financial market impact from a shutdown is the suspension of government-released economic data, end quote. He goes on to say this data blackout could have tangible consequences quickly, easy for me to say. For instance, the critical September unemployment and payroll report, which are due Friday, October 3rd, that's this Friday, would not be released if the government is closed. Meanwhile, data compiled by Carson Research chief market strategist Ryan Dietrich highlights that the fourth quarter has been a boon for investors, boasting an average return of 4.2%, significantly outperforming all other quarters. He says, and I quote, Q4 is the best quarter of the year historically, and it isn't even really close, end quote. And this is, I think, what a lot of investors, I know myself, and I would imagine a majority of the happy hour crew, at least from what I've talked to, this is one of the things that we're looking at. We expected some negative seasonality in September, didn't really get it. October can kind of be a volatile month, can kind of be back and forth. Normally, if you have a weak September, it bottoms in October. So we'll see if we get some of that volatility kicked down the road, if you will, if that makes October a little bit more difficult. However, I got to say, in lieu of any other big macro event here that changes the perspective, I got to think that we're going to have another good fourth quarter here. And I would imagine that any weakness in the early half of October is probably a buying opportunity. Now, we'll see how that shakes out here. We're still going to keep our risk front and center if we're taking new trades. But that's definitely something that I'm looking at now that we are getting set to close September here. However, the path through the fourth quarter may not be smooth. Dietrich's analysis shows that in years where the S&P was up more than 10% year to date at the end of September, October's performance has been a coin flip. Quote, October is down on average and higher only 50% of the time under these conditions. The average return for October in these instances is -0.3, a stark contrast to the quarter's overall strength. And again, some more really good data here from Ryan Dietrich. We share it all the time. Graphics are a little bit small, but they're all in that link I threw in the chat for you. If you're interested in going through any of that. So again, we'll see how this all shakes out here. We do have some economic stuff going on Monday. Today, we have Trump speaking regarding Gaza at some point. I think that's right around midday. We also have Fed's Waller, Fed's Hammock, and Fed Williams and Musalem giving speeches today. That starts at 7:30. Then there's one at 8, and then there's 2 there at 1:30. We also have the pending home sales here at 10 o'clock. Tuesday, we have house price data, Jolt job openings, CB consumer confidence, Chicago PMI, and we have Chicago Fed President Austin Goolsbee giving a speech. On Wednesday, we have the ISM manufacturing data, crude and gas data, construction spending and S&P Global data. On Thursday, we have jobless claims, Logan speaking, natty gas data. And on Friday, we have the non-farm payrolls, ISM, and Fed's Jefferson is going to be speaking. So we do have some economic stuff on the board here today. We'll see how that all shakes out. But right now, we are currently sitting up near highs. In fact, let's actually go to the chart and take a look at where we sit. We'll start with this, and then we'll go into some more company-specific news. Here we go. 665.01 is where we currently see ourselves in the pre-market. So key levels here are definitely going to be the all-time high. 667.34 is that value. That's only 2 points and change away from where we're at. If we start to fall back, I'd look for this gap to get closed. Top end of that gap there, 662. So about 3 points to the downside to fill that gap. If we show some weakness here, I think that would probably be what we would end up doing there. It's also worth noting that the 20-day moving average, which we've talked about literally every day that we've been on this program here, that has acted as support again, at least so far. We'll see how much that or how long that holds up here. But if we roll over, the gap fill level would be the key one first, and then the 20-day moving average, that's at 656.35. All right, so that's what we got going on here with the SPY chart. Again, let's talk about a little bit more about this October volatility, actually. The S&P 500 is heading into what's known as the strongest season, but a specific set of market conditions are flashing a warning sign for investors in the immediate short term. While the fourth quarter has delivered the best average returns for the index since 1950, historical data shows that a strong year-to-date performance through September often leads to flat or a negative October, creating a conflicting picture for Wall Street. Data compiled by Carson Research's chief market strategist, Ryan Dietrich, highlights this divergence. The fourth quarter has been a boon for investors, boasting an average of 4.2%, significantly outperforming all other quarters, as we just said. However, the path through the fourth quarter may not be smooth. The primary source of concern comes from the market's strong performance this year. Dietrich's analysis shows that the S&P was up more than 10% year-to-date at the end of September. October's performance has been a coin flip. So we talked a little bit about this here. Adding another layer to the outlook, the data suggests a positive setup for the full quarter. While the S&P 500 makes a new 52-week high in September, as it has this year, the median return for the fourth quarter has been a robust 5.3%, with the index finishing higher a staggering 90.9% of the time. So like I said, if we get a move down here that isn't crazy on some, black swan or unforeseen event, it, to me, at least right now, kind of seems like a buying opportunity. We'll see how that shakes out. We'll stay nimble as we get more news here. This suggests that while October may present headwinds and potential volatility, the broader trend for the remainder of the year remains positive. Investors are left to weigh the immediate caution flags for October against the historically bullish backdrop for the fourth quarter. Let me know where you folks stand on all of that, to be quite honest with you. We already took a look there at price performance. Okay, let's talk a little bit about Apple. And you know what? We'll actually start with the Apple chart here. Let me bring that up. Apple down by about 0.3 here in the pre-market. Good thing here on Apple is that we have a pretty clear target. This actually, to me, on the on the daily chart, this actually looks like a bull flag. And I would imagine, again, very similarly, if we don't have any really negative news, I would expect Apple at a minimum to continue to test this area. Going to say it's around 260, probably a little bit more. Maybe this 261, 262 area would be a proper test of this trend line to the upside. At least to me here, it looks like this is going to break higher. And remember, there was a lot of fear here about Apple and its new iPhone, and some of the early indications is that actually that might not be as bad as people thought. That's what we're going to talk about here. Apple appears to have put the worst behind in its China issue. So that comes from an analyst there. It may be finally regaining ground in China after months of slowing sales. And analysts warn that Xiaomi will soon face renewed competition from Apple's 2026 iPhone lineup. How about that? On Monday, TF Securities analyst Ming-Chi Kuo said Apple's iPhone business in China has, quote, put the worst behind it, end quote. Taking to X, he noted that Apple's rebound poses a direct challenge to Xiaomi, which last week launched its 7 series in Beijing. Kuo added that Xiaomi's standard 17 model has underperformed expectations, leading to an estimated 20% shipment cuts for the series. I bet you folks didn't hear about that, huh? Quote, if there's no further step up in pricing or marketing going forward, total shipments for the 17 series could fall below the 15 series at about 8 million units. No bueno. According to Kuo, Xiaomi's competitive pressure is set to intensify in 2026 when Apple is expected to roll out 2 new products, a revamped iPhone SE in the first half of the year and a new high-end iPhone series in the second half. The analyst suggested that Apple's resurgence could squeeze Xiaomi's premium smartphone ambitions just as it attempted to claw back share from both Apple and Huawei. Kuo said the demand shortfall stems largely from a weak uptake of the standard Xiaomi 17 model, which was expected to account for 50 to 55% of shipments, but instead is tracking closer to 15 or 20%. Huge difference there. While Pro and Pro Max models have seen incremental orders, they have not been enough to offset the decline. Xiaomi may need to cut prices during China's National Golden Week to drive shipments higher. Part of me wonders if there are consumers that are kind of waiting for that. I know we get that around Black Friday here. I would suspect there would be some of that effect over in China, but that's just speculation on my part. Kuo said, warning that the company's long-term premium strategy will hinge on the success of its 18 series and on-device AI roadmap. For anyone that might not already follow any of these folks or want to go through all of these, link is in the chat there for you. Meanwhile, Apple's iPhone 17 lineup, which was launched on September 19th in China and India, is already generating strong demand, particularly for the Pro Max model, which is priced at $1,406 or 10,001. Now, remember, that is where the margins are the highest. If the iPhone Pro Max is the hot seller of this new iPhone lineup and it's above expectations, Apple stock is going north. That is perhaps the most important measurement. I know we talk a lot about AI here, but if that install base grows and takes back market share in China, stock's going higher. Apple forecasts iPhone shipments in China will rise 11% year over year in the second half of 2025. That helping Apple post a 5% annual growth despite earlier declines. Globally, Apple commands 25.71% of the smartphone market, ahead of Samsung's 20.96 and Xiaomi's 10.82. That's according to StatCounter. Also here on the screen, Apple's, I know we talk about these Edge rankings here in Pro because you can scan very easily for them in Pro. They're also available if you have an Edge subscription. These were developed in partnership with Tim Melvin, which is why they're so good. And as you can see here, Apple actually has some pretty good scores here. A little bit low on value with such a high PE and a little bit lower on growth, given all of kind of the negative talk about some of these sales here. But really solid rating there on quality, and that momentum rating continues to tick up. I think if Apple tries to test that trend line, you're actually going to see that momentum rating tick up even higher, to be quite honest with you. So Apple looking good here. As far as my own position, I actually have no trading position on Apple right now. I still just have my investment position. I would not be opposed to trading this again if given a proper setup, though. So I will keep you folks posted on that. All right. Next here, we're going to talk a little bit about NVIDIA. Jensen Huang fires back at Wall Street's flatlining NVIDIA forecast, says AI demand will crush long-term expectations. AI, obviously, the big theme here. Is it going to be a bubble? Is it going to help crush expectations? A lot to be seen here, but Jensen clearly placing his bet. Chipmaker NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang pushed back against Wall Street. On last week's September open source podcast, Huang was asked about Wall Street's consensus from 25 analysts projecting NVIDIA's flatlining projecting NVIDIA's growth flatlining after 2027. He said he had no issue with those forecasts, but argued that they fail to capture the scale of AI adoption that is now underway. So again, here, this seems, I don't know, it seems like that's still part of the hype, right? Like, oh, I know you don't really see it now. I don't really have a problem with those forecasts, but you will, because this AI thing is really, really important, and it's going to keep getting bigger and bigger. I mean, I think that's probably the case, but again, we'll see. During the podcast, Huang said, we're comfortable with that, adding that his company has, quote, no trouble in beating the numbers on a regular basis, end quote. We've talked about this too. NVIDIA, no stranger to hopping over that bar come earnings time. He described a massive divergence of belief between what AI leaders like Sam Altman and Microsoft's Satya Nadella are projecting and that Wall Street models assume. Quote, our opportunity, as I described it, is much larger than the consensus, end quote. So saying even the analysts here that are covering some of this don't have it right, and that there's actually more upside here. Let me know if any of you folks feel that way. Do you feel like the AI thing has kind of run its course? Are you worried about the comps to the internet bubble or any previous pullbacks? Curious to see what the group thinks on that. We might have to come up with a poll question around that at some point. He described a massive divergence of belief based on Huang pointed to what he called two exponentials driving compute requirements. That is the rapid increase in the number of users engaging with AI tools, followed by the exponential growth in compute needed per user as models move from one-shot inference to reasoning. Quote, until we fully convert all general purpose computing to accelerated computing in AI, the chances of a glut are extremely low, end quote. On the podcast, Huang defended his decision to invest $100 billion in OpenAI, calling it, quote, some of the smartest investments we can possibly imagine, end quote. Now, are those famous last words, or is he just hitting it right on the head? Unpopular Truth says, I agree with Jensen. Boom. Day Trader says, no way, it hasn't launched yet. There are too many humans to displace and too much profit to be had by corporations for this to have peaked yet. Bogey saying we've only scratched the surface of AI. So, all right, really good. That just gives you an idea of kind of what investors are thinking about all of this. I don't think we have a clear answer, to be quite honest with you. Or if we do, the clear answer here is that AI is going to continue to transform things. But we'll see how it shakes out. By the way, Huang said OpenAI, quote, OpenAI is likely to be the world's next multi-trillion-dollar hyperscale company, adding that NVIDIA will be working with the company at the chip level and at the software level and at the systems level and at the AI factory level to help build and operate its AI infrastructure. This comes amid growing concerns that the company was creating a circular investment loop by investing in OpenAI, which would in turn acquire chips from NVIDIA. Sometimes Oracle gets thrown into that circular thing as well. So again, we'll see how this shakes out. Fairchild, AI is just inhaling for the big scream. Hi, Rye. Good morning, Fairchild. Good to see you again. You might be right on that, Fairchild. You might be right on that. And I think that here's the thing, and this is tough. It's going to be tough for investors. Let's say all things removed, AI does become this bubble type thing. Even if that's the true, and I'm not saying that's true, but even if that is the case, or even if that's what the future holds for us, I still think we're early in this and there's going to be more opportunity. That is to say, I still think there's going to be massive, massive moves to capture, even if there's a big crash. And how you trade that, how you book gains off that will be telling. So So we'll see. We'll see how it all shakes out here. AI hasn't taken over the world yet. There's still room to grow. You're right about that. You're right about that, Ryan. So, okay. Good stuff there. Apples are good. Let's talk about, you know what, here, before we do that, actually, I didn't do this first, so we might as well at least button this up. Let's take a look at the NVIDIA chart here. Here's what we got. I did draw a recent trend line here off of some of the higher lows that NVIDIA has been putting on the daily chart. We are above the 20 and the 50, and we're kind of in like the sideways area. We're above the trend line too, obviously, but we're just a little bit down from the all-time highs. In fact, let me estimate this for you. I think we're down about just shy of 3% from the all-time highs. So honestly, NVIDIA here, even for a potential trade, maybe this does go ahead and take those all-time highs at least again. Chart is actually, I know we talk about this being overvalued, this and that, and maybe the run's over. Chart right now doesn't look terrible. Doesn't look terrible, especially against the AI backdrop that y'all seem to be pretty bullish on. All right, let's also take a look at Tesla now. I'll start with the chart. I'll be honest, I really didn't look at much of in the way of charting on Friday, so I might be surprised at some of these. Tesla here sure looks like we're teasing a breakout, guys. Sure looks like we're teasing a breakout here. I would say that the high here, 444.98. So let's call it 445. It's basically 50 or 60 cents higher than the pre-market high today. Tesla here looks like it really kind of cleared this area out and is going to try and move higher here. So I'd watch for a potential break higher on Tesla. If any of you have short-term day trades on Tesla or even short-term swing trades on Tesla, I would love to hear about that from you here today. Let's definitely take a look at that. And Billy saying MLTX oversold. You know, I know we normally look at movers that are gapping up. We're going to take a look at that one. There are actually a couple, I believe, that are selling off here. And maybe we do have some bounce trades on there. Billy, that's a really good mention. Let me actually put that on here just so I don't forget. I know sometimes I get carried away here and I forget some things. We don't want to do that. So MLTX will also take a look at LAC. Billy, it's good to see you here this morning, of course. All right, let's talk a little bit here about Tesla. Elon Musk urges Tesla buyers to lock in orders before September 30th. September 30th is tomorrow, folks. That way you're able to actually book that $7,500 EV credit. That's when it cuts off. Tesla has urged customers to lock in purchases ahead of September's 30 deadline for federal EV credit to avail the incentive as Q3 deliveries look poised to exceed analyst estimates. So something to consider here just right off the surface is there obviously is a benefit to the consumer. If you're able to get a $7,500 credit or not, you obviously want to get that credit. But the tailwind effect here is that might boost some of those delivery numbers. And whenever we get that print, that is likely to impact Tesla here. The company's North American handle posted on the social media platform on X on Sunday, urging customers to lock in their purchase before the deadline. Quote, 2 days left to lock in $7,500 of federal tax credit, end quote. Tesla said in the post with a link to its website. So some boots on the ground marketing there, trying to stir up some sales there. The IRS updates the EV credit terms. The news comes as the Internal Revenue Service revised the terms to avail the federal EV credit, with the agency now saying that customers can still avail the credit even if they take delivery of the vehicle post the deadline. So you basically just need to get your orders in by September 30th, provided that they make a nominal payment on or before September 30th. A payment can include a small down payment as well as a trade-in, says the IRS. So it's actually possible to still get this even if you're low on cash, as long as you have a trade-in to help bolster that. As long as you do that by tomorrow, should be all right. Meanwhile, Tesla has updated its terms coinciding with the IRS update. However, the EV giant also mentioned that taking delivery beyond September 30 and still availing the IRA credit is only valid for cash purchases. Customers leasing the vehicles would still be expected to take delivery on or before the deadline day. So what that means is that if you want to lease a Tesla, you can't order it. It's got to be in the store, and you got to do that today in order to get that. California backtracks on bespoke EV credit. Elsewhere, California Governor Gavin Newsom confirmed that the state wouldn't be pushing through with the proposed bespoke EV incentives after the federal EV credit deadline. The state had earlier planned on offering incentives to EV owners via a backfill. Instead, California will now reportedly look towards improving the charging infrastructure in the state. Yeah, probably a good idea. Should have been already doing that, but that's just my opinion. Here, we just talked a little bit about those edge rankings here for for NVIDIA. Here they are for Tesla. Very high momentum score. That should come as a surprise to, frankly, nobody. Really good growth score still. That might be impacted by the deliveries number. Value, yep. It's not a value stock. Tesla's not a value stock. We're not breaking any news here on that. And quality here, 61. That's actually ticked up a little bit. So looks pretty good. Let me know what you folks think on Tesla. Do you like trading it? Do you have any trades lined up for it? Dennis Diaz here. I'm actually shorting Tesla. I got TSLS waiting for earnings on October 15th. Okay. First of all, I appreciate that because you're giving us all of the stuff there on your trade. We don't have this confirmed here. I'll have my news desk look into confirming that. I'm just going to take your word for it that it is, in fact, October 15th. Yeah, Thinkorswim doesn't have it confirmed either. It should be on or around mid to late October. You're absolutely right about that. So we'll see. We'll see how that ends up going here. And then TSLS. So I like this. We talk about some of these ETFs all the time. The TSLS is Direction's 1x levered bear share. It does look like it's at a pretty good or pretty low price here. It's at a bottom, perhaps. I know it recently just kind of broke lower here, but I get why you're trading that one. I know on the bull side here, we've really kind of been trading TSLL. This has actually been pretty good too. Last time I traded this, it was from about 12 to 13 and a half. Kind of wish that I still had some of that there. This is around 20. Okay, let's see here. Do not have the guest yet. We'll go to that as soon as that person shows up. Let me check BMNR here. I did see that this was making some rounds on FinTwit. Here's what the daily chart looks like. Hey, look at this. We held the 50, and actually today we're trading back above the 20. If I take a look at the 5-minute chart here, here's what BMNR looks like. We'll see if we can end up breaking this 52.65 to the upside here. Maybe we have put in a bottom here. If you look inside on this 5-minute, it does kind of look like over the Friday and Thursday session that BMNR put in what looks like a triple bottom. So if that's the case, perhaps we can move back up towards the 60 handle here at 52.35. It's pretty good distance there. So maybe this will be on deck here for a day trade. Did we have any news on this? I actually didn't have this on my rundown sheet here this morning. Let me see if I can pull any news for that. You said it had crypto news, so we'll check into that as well. See what other comments did I miss here? I don't think I missed anything on this. What's going on with my news pane here? Come on. Is this all stocks or is this just BMNR? Nope, I don't think I have any news here. Now I don't have charts. Let me just try refreshing here. Sorry about the tech issues here. Let me see. It wouldn't be a Monday without some tech problems not working. Brandy, good morning. MD, good morning. Barry the Goat, good morning. Jabara, good morning. GB Slice, good morning. Okay, real good stuff here. This all died on me. Let me just report this here real quick. All right. I don't know what the heck's going on. Sorry about that, folks. That is absolutely awesome that happens. Absolutely awesome. All right, let me see. Izzy, I appreciate you. Go Bears. Go Bears indeed. We'll see what we can do to try and get this back. Let me see if any of my other... Boy, I'm just going to get arrows all over the place, aren't I? God, this is wild. Wild stuff. Folks, I am really sorry about this. I need to find something to share here. Let's see. I don't really have anything else. You know what? We're just going to have to go to Trading View, which is all set to light mode, which is going to be so painful to look at. Ugh. All right, here is our SPY chart. Oh, I did set it to dark mode and it remembered. All right, let's take a look at that BMNR chart that I was trying to take a look at. Here we. Oh, I wanted to take a look at the news. Of course. Let's see if they have any of the news here for BMNR. Probably not. No, doesn't look like it. Okay, we ought to just do ticker time then. In the meantime here, let's see what other charts. You know what? I saw Billy also mentioned Lockheed Martin. I noticed that all of the defense names were up as I think it was a Wall Street Journal report saying that they anticipate more spending for a potential conflict with China. Got to be honest, on the surface, I don't love that, but that does do pretty well for some of these defense stocks. Here's actually Lockheed Martin's daily chart. Looks pretty good for a potential breakout. I would actually target 525, 550 if we're able to get that breakout here. Let's take a look inside. Here we go. So it actually, in the pre-market here, it looks like we did break out and then back test this 495. Here's what I'll say. If we can get another back test here of 495 today, that would be absolutely golden for a potential trade. I don't even know if we're going to get that, but watch and see here on LMT. Let's actually roll through a couple of these because these might have charts that would be worth taking a look at. RTX. Now, this is the other thing. RTX, big missile provider. This one looks like it's breaking out. I think this one would also be. The problem with this is that this chart looks like it already kind of ran. So I'd really want a support entry on this one as opposed to just kind of chasing performance. But this one looking pretty good. Another good move higher here in the pre-market. This was after another higher move on Friday. So we'll see here an RTX. But I'll tell you what, the buy that we made there at 72 late last year, oh, that was good. We kind of wish that I had that. Let's take a look. Northrop Grumman. This too, also looking pretty good. Looking pretty good here. Okay. Sorry, trying to do too many things here at once. All right, folks. It is time for our interview. Let's go ahead and bring on special guest Nick Liuzza. Let me bring him on. All right, Beeline Holdings CEO Nick Liuzza. Hey, let me ask you, am I getting the name correct? Am I pronouncing it correctly?
It's Liuzza, but you're close enough.
Okay, I'll remember though. I take pride in being able to pronounce names correctly. So if I get it wrong, I want to be corrected. First of all, thanks for joining us here. Beeline Holdings, it's technology-driven mortgage lender and title provider building a fully digital AI-powered platform that simplifies and accelerates the home financing process. This is awesome. This is a theme that we have been talking about. A lot of the stocks that we've been looking at is like Rocket Mortgage and UWM. So I'm just going to start right there. First of all, tell us a little bit about yourself and your company. But how is your company different than Rocket? What makes BLNE different from other mortgage lenders?
Well, look, this is my fourth company, 3 successful exits prior to this one, very experienced management team. And why are we different? Well, look, we built our brand, we built our platform, and all of our tools for the generation that grew up with these phones in their pockets when they're 7, 8, 9 years old. There's 75 million millennials out there and 25 Gen Z right behind them. And these guys, they shop differently than what you and I do. And so we built our platform for them. And we offer a wider variety of mortgage programs than those other mortgage lenders do as well. So if you don't qualify for a conventional Freddie Fannie mortgage, it's game over. As opposed to at Beeline, our AI will direct you to a whole new suite of products that are more designed for the gig economy.
Okay, interesting. So, and that really does kind of separate it from Rocket. I'll be honest with you. I use Rocket myself. Full disclosure, I used it for my refinance, and I'm extremely happy with it. I'm happy with all of the tools there. What would it take to maybe kind of draw me away from that? How do you plan to capture market share from other companies?
Yeah, well, look, I mean, look, Rocket is they own 8% of the industry. They
Mhm.
are the premier leader, and they've been around for a long time. So they know what they're doing, and they're very good at what they do. We're not trying to necessarily take customers away from them. We're just trying to find our own niche and gain market share ourselves by offering a different platform that's different than Rocket, right? And so, again, it's a 7-minute journey. It's very fast. The AI will make a decision and give you 90% certainty about whether or not you qualify in 7 or 8 minutes, 24/7, 365, and our chatbot will answer your questions at any point in time. I'm not sure exactly what Rocket is doing in terms of their customer satisfaction, but I know that we're meeting the mark for our demographic. And I also know, again, if you're not sure you can qualify for a conventional mortgage, you should come to us first, because we're going to offer you a bank statement loan or a DSCR loan. Though these loans are more designed for the gig economy as opposed to Freddie Fannie conventional mortgages. For example, a bank statement loan doesn't even look at your income. It doesn't even ask you what your income is. So if you've got lumpy income that goes up and down, or you've got K1 income, or you're probably not going to get a mortgage at Rocket Mortgage. Whereas we will not even ask the question and look at your bank statements and probably give you a qualification.
Okay, really good explanation there. Really appreciate that. Let me ask you, what do you think about the current interest rate environment? Cuts, the cutting cycle that might be upon this, and of course, how is that beneficial?
Well, listen, we're super excited. It's prime time for us. It's 6 o'clock, and you've got the greatest run in the world coming down the mountain, getting ready to ski, and now it's time, right? We've been duking it out in the trenches and really working very hard with our foot on the gas pedal to wait for this moment. And now the headwinds are getting ready to turn into tailwinds, and that means very fast revenue growth for a company like us, extremely fast revenue growth, because the market's going to normalize. And again, we are addressing the needs of 75 to 100 million younger borrowers who already represent 40% of the market, and that's only going to continue. So we're quite excited about the interest rate environment. We know that the market's going to normalize, and we know that I think the August purchase numbers are already out, and they're very strong compared to what analysts thought. So again, we're getting ready to get into a good market here.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, one of the things that we've talked about as a group is how the young home buyers really aren't there. First-time home buyers really struggling. It'd be great to see some gaps get closed in that. I completely agree with you there. All right, what do you see as Beeline's biggest near-term catalyst? You started talking a little bit there about tailwinds. I'd wonder if you can expand on that. What do you think about their near-term catalyst that could transform the company's profitability?
Yeah, but we're already debt free. We're going to be cash flow positive in January. We've been working toward that for a long time. Our heavy spend is behind us. We're ready to start generating revenue. And oh, by the way, we have partnered with a brand new coin, which has not been released yet. That information will start coming out toward the end of October. And that's going to allow us to offer a fractional sale of equity products. So if you have equity in your home and you need liquidity and you cannot get it, we're going to be able to offer you a product where you can sell a portion of your home equity, and we will leverage our partner who will mine a coin. And essentially, with our partner, we're bringing the blockchain is meeting the real estate chain on a one-to-one basis. And that is a new funding source to fund liquidity for people who cannot get liquidity because they don't have the credit score, they don't have the job, they don't have the income. If you're a baby boomer and you're looking at a reverse mortgage, this is a much better source for you. Or if you just don't want monthly payments, if you just don't want to pay a mortgage and you need some cash, this product is going to be relevant for you. And so for us, this is a, I mean, I don't see any other mortgage lender doing this at the moment. And so for us, yes, this is going to transform the industry and catapult this small little creative company that's addressing the needs for this generation, but also with a product that doesn't exist in the market as of right now by other mortgage lenders. There are fractional sale of equity products out there, but not offered through mortgage lending platforms like us.
Okay, it would be exciting to see if you can become a disruptor in this industry, without a doubt. Now, again, you're making my job real easy here, because you're kind of talking about the very next question I wanted to ask you about. You've announced some exciting partnerships and initiatives recently. Can you walk investors through how these collaborations are going to translate into real revenue growth for Beeline?
Well, look, I mean, our true partnership, we are in constant negotiations with partners, and I would say that just stay tuned on that. As far as we do have some partnerships in place right now, mostly around investment property transactions.
Mhm.
But when you have a platform like we do, and you can give 90% certainty in a 7-minute, 8-minute journey, and you can offer a wider variety of products, you're going to get the attention of partners that need mortgages. And so we have their attention, and we are in discussions. And I would just say stay tuned on partnerships. I'm not ready to kind of talk just yet about new partnerships, but rest assured we're in discussions.
Hey, stay tuned is perfectly acceptable. I appreciate it. Okay, what is your? These are going to be some of the tougher questions. I know with the investment group that we have here, with the traders that we have here, some of this stuff is on the top of their mind there. What does your capital structure look like today, and how confident are you in your ability to fund growth without diluting shareholders?
Well, listen. First of all, I have $16 million of my own money in the company. Our CEO just made a $100,000 investment. COO just made a $100,000 investment. Entire accounting team has made investments in the company. And so I'm very confident we can cash flow ourselves. We are going to be raising some money though, because we are a mortgage lender, and we have to have a very strong balance sheet. And that's how you grow your warehouse lines, is by cash on the balance sheet. So we'll be raising some money to put some cash on the balance sheet, but not a lot of money. And it's value dilution. I can assure you, having $16 million in the company, we can be very proactive at this point, given that we're debt free, given that we're getting ready to be cash flow positive, given that there's tailwinds and not headwinds. So we can be proactive about our fundraising and pick our spots and ensure that if there is dilution, there's value dilution. So the value of the company goes up, even though there may be a smaller percentage that you would own as a shareholder. So I'm not sitting here with $16 million in my own company to dilute myself. I can guarantee you that. We're going to be very smart and make very educated decisions so that our balance sheet looks good. We can offer what we need to offer. And look, we only have a $8 million market cap. Give me a break. I mean, look at the comps out there and look at what our runway is. It's huge potential. And so I wouldn't be as concerned about dilution. I would look more about the opportunity and the fact that we're innovative, we're smart, and we're sitting side by side with our shareholders. We don't want dilution either, but we want to be smart, and we're playing chess. We're not playing checkers.
Yeah. First of all, that's a great answer here. If you have that's what we love to see from smaller companies here. We want to see that the executives of that company have their own money tied up. If your incentive is to drive the stock higher, that works for us as investors. Perfect answer there. And the other thing about our particular group is that we have seen, I think that you called that value-based dilution, or what was the term that you just used there?
Value dilution. It's like, wouldn't you rather own 1% of Apple than 100% of some new startup? It's kind of like, it's like the value of the company goes up, right? As you deploy new funds. And if you use those funds properly, the whole value goes up. So you may own a smaller percentage, but your overall shares in your stock account are worth more money because the money was used appropriately. And so we're not like, there was a time when we were losing $1 million a month, and the headlines were, why would you ever invest in a mortgage company? It's the worst real estate market in 30 years. And we kept our foot on the gas pedal, and we kept building and building, knowing that the window would open. And when the window opened, we would be ready for this moment, which is where we are. So whatever dilution we have right now, it's going to be minimal compared to the opportunity.
Okay, that's absolutely perfect. And again, we've seen companies raise money and then use it appropriately, and we've seen what that can actually lead to. So really good stuff there. Appreciate that, Nick. What are your targets for revenue, EBITDA, and cash flow over the next few quarters that investors should be watching?
Well, I can't answer that question, right? Because that was a very crafty way to sneak that in. I got to tell you, this is not your first rodeo, and I respect and appreciate that. I can tell you what I've said in the past and what our goals are, right? And so it's a massive market. The number one lender only has about 8 to 9% of the market, right? And so just a few basis points is a multi-billion-dollar company in this space. Our goal, and I've stated this before, when the market normalizes, is to start closing 700 loans a month, which is about $100 million run rate. I think once the market normalizes, we can be there in less than a year. So, and that's just from the mortgage lending division. So that's a very, very small percentage of the market. And that's addressing the 75 to 100 million younger generation out there that we think we're speaking to better, We're speaking to faster. We're being more creative. And go to our website. Our brand speaks speaks their language, the way they want to communicate and the way they want to do business. So I feel like getting to 700 closings and that $100 million run rate mark with tailwinds and not headwinds is very achievable in the time period I just said.
Okay, fantastic. I'll get you out of here on this. First of all, really good stuff here. We really appreciate all of the transparency and honesty. How do you plan to keep Beeline's technology and offerings ahead of the curve as the industry evolves?
Well, listen, that's a really good question. I don't think I've been asked that question in the past. So there's a couple of things. First of all, when you are in the trenches and you are actually innovative like we are, this is not our first rodeo. We built mortgage tech in previous businesses and companies. And when you're in the trenches, you have a major advantage versus some Silicon Valley come in who thinks they know what to build and thinks they know what to do. And they come in and we are in the trenches every single day. We're closing loans every single day. We're speaking to customers every single day. Our product team is based in Australia and they are excellent. And we have 6 years in the industry now building software, building technology. We know what we need to build. We know where the areas are. And so we're going to stay ahead of it because we're building tech to drive our business and we want to gain market share. So our motivation is off the charts to get there. So we're motivated, we're experienced, and we have the platform to do it at the same time. So I think we're going to stay ahead.
Okay, absolutely fantastic. Again, Nick Liuzza, CEO of Beeline Holdings. Folks that are looking for that, that's ticker BLNE. I really appreciate the time. I really appreciate the interview. And I think what we should do is have you back and check out how you're doing along the road. Would you be interested in that?
Absolutely, man. I love your channel. You guys are great. I think you're adding a whole new cutting edge to what needs to happen out there. And so I would absolutely be honored to come back.
Okay, fantastic. Nick, we will absolutely have you back. Have a great rest of your week. Good luck with Beeline. This is really, really exciting. And I'll tell you something. You make some big moves getting gig economy workers, first-time home buyers, and young buyers into this market. I actually think that's going to be better for everybody in this country. I wish you the best of luck. Thanks for the time here this morning. Look forward to having you back.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the time today.
Yep, no problem, folks. That is Nick Liuzza, CEO from Beeline Holdings. Let me actually grab my screen here real quick. Here, for those, I'm sorry, I might have done a poor job there at the outset by not mentioning the ticker. I apologize. I take blame for that. Ticker again, BLNE, Beeline Holdings. Really, really good stuff there, folks. You know, I'm always going to ask these CEOs about dilution and all of that. I got to be honest with you. Thought his answer was perfect for that. Thought his answer was absolutely perfect for that. I really appreciate that. We are definitely going to have Nick back. Shout out to Zoltan, too, from our news desk team, who continues to outdo himself on a regular basis, getting us quality guests in here. Folks, I don't know if you remember, but we've actually traded BLNE off of the scanner. Whenever I see some of these small cap companies that are really trying to get something done here, we don't just want to look at them because they move on a scanner. We actually want to get the lowdown there. Really appreciate Nick giving us some of his time here and helping us out with that. Really, really good stuff. Look to having him back. Appreciate all of the warm things you folks are saying here in the chat. Really, really good stuff. Really, really good stuff across the board. Okay, it's that time. It's time for the one and only 13. 13, happy Monday. How you doing, boss?
Good morning, Ryan. How was how's the wedding you went to?
I'll tell you what. First of all, 13, I made the most brilliant decision in the world, starting a trial for Sirius so I could have satellite radio in the car while I was driving to, from, and about town. So that was a huge win. Being in Minnesota was awesome. I picked the perfect time to go. The weather was phenomenal. And most importantly, my teammate and personal friend here at work, Jacob Bear, just absolutely awesome. The wedding was awesome. His brand new bride is absolutely fantastic. His family is awesome. It was good vibes all around, tons of smiles. I'll be honest, 13, just being able to take a couple of days off of the real world and seeing a bunch of happy people being happy with each other across the board, it was absolutely
a breath of fresh air.
It was a breath of fresh air, dude. It was absolutely great. Played some golf, played pretty well. It was fun. And then made just unbelievable time on my drive home and was able to make it home for, again, another slate of just really quality NFL games across the board. So I had a great time. I appreciate you asking me. However, I am back and locked in and ready to go for this week.
All right. Well, I'm ready to go here, and I do apologize. I did cover as much as I could with some of these, but because we were having some issues with our news feed, I couldn't get to the real depth of some of these. But you know what? Hit the like for our Benzinga devs. They're working hard. I appreciate them. So if you could extend your appreciation for me and hit the like for them, that'd be great. So I can cover a little bit with some of these that are moving here, but I just don't have like some really down super details like I usually
that's
bring.
okay. Couple of things there. First of all, I share your shout out there. I've already got the charts back here.
Yep.
So I would imagine that this is going to be fine here. Actually, okay. So we should be okay. It actually looks like the problem that we were seeing was a problem with one of our web service providers, and we have a backup that we're spinning up. So we should be okay for the rest of the show here. Let's go ahead and start. Interestingly, I'm actually going to flip over to the movers tab here. Interestingly, I want to start with this one. Let's see if I can get the chart here. Oops, I already messed up my chart. Let me go back. MLT, come on. MLTX here, Moon Lake. So I know this. What a bummer! I don't have the news here.
It's fine.
Well, yeah. Here's the thing. This stock fell from $60 on some real bad news and bad data here. The reason I'm bringing this up, and I'll go back and get you some of the news there so we can go through that. I'll get it for you here in a sec. But the reason that I'm starting with this, look at the gigantic fall that this stock has made. We've seen this with other stocks before. I know a lot of you that are gunslingers out there, you might be thinking, hey, there could be a dead cat bounce here. And that is true. There very well could be a dead cat bounce here. We'll see if we end up getting that. Couple of things that I wanted to cover first, though. First of all, it does look like so far we've put a bottom in here. So I would say 740. Okay, 740, probably the stop to trade this against. It's only 765, so you really don't have to give yourself a whole lot of downside there. And already in the pre-market, I think you have a range up to a 14 handle. So I don't know that this stock is going to bounce. We'll cover it a little bit more, but just know this stock down 87%. If there is going to be a bounce candidate, it might be this. Also, KALA, this is Kala Bio. Maybe this bounces. I think that this is not as strong as MLTX. That's just a hunch. But these two on the list here, I know we can generally start with gappers to the upside, not gappers to the downside. But I did just want to cover that. Let me go back to the gainers here because I know this is where we started here. First one is going to be MSS. This is ticker MSS. This thing ripping here. Did you have news on this one?
Yeah, this is moving because of a 70 million private placement with
Perfect.
In order to buy WorldCoin. So that's the crypto they are going to be picking up here. This company does have revenue, but they need cash. So this 70 million private placement is going to certainly help that along. Float 3.85 million shares. Unfortunately, this is where most of the data I was getting this morning is going to stop, and I moved to the charts now. So it's going to be a low float. It's going to have it had some kind of issue with capital, but not anymore. That's about all I've got for the fundamentals of the moment. As far as the chart goes, we are really moving up here past some previous. We don't have a whole lot of data on this, as far as I can tell. I mean, I think this is kind of a newer stock. I might be wrong about that, but we are moving up here into the 5 handle now. And we previously were when I first saw this, we were just breaching over 4. If this continues up, we have resistance coming at 788, 780, like 7 to 790 up in there. Looks like we are pulling back here from 648, the high that we just put in, and this 550 area that was previously resistance. It's hopefully going to be acting as support, but if it doesn't, we still have this 475 area beneath it, which is also a support area. So it's just above VWAP as well. We're going to want to see some of these levels hold up, or this is going to continue to leak lower, and we're just going to wait for this to find a bottom before we start looking for trades in this one.
Okay, real good stuff there on MSS. Let's see if I have, I do. Short interest here, negligible, 13, only just under 1% of the float shorted there with 1 day to cover. If you take a look at the overview here, looks like we've got a float of about 3.8 million. Normally the stock's a pretty much a ghost town, 304,000 shares, good Lord. Today we've traded over 34 million on that. So, okay, really good breakdown there, 13 on MSS. Really quickly here, just to kind of put a bow on things, we were talking about MLTX and the huge fall that it had here. Cinzy was asking what happened to it. I'm sorry I didn't have that for you the first time around, but just to close the loop here, Moon Lake Therapeutics, the stock took a massive hit. Stifel downgraded the company due to disappointing phase 3 VILA trial results for one of its drugs, which lowered the chances of success in the I'm going to try this. Hidradenitis suppurativa market. So it had a drug here that had bad phase. Let me get that right. Phase 3 data here, also catching a downgrade from Stifel. That's why the stock is down 87%. So keep that on the back burner there. Maybe you do see a bounce. Bottom line, bad news on a phase 3 trial with this drug.
Yeah, that data has to amount to something, because it's literally just money that you're setting into the incinerator if it doesn't.
Right.
So all that value that was being generated from all those trials and the development of the drug, that's all gone now. Well, at least it's certainly getting evaporated, but I think there's still some hope for this. They are going to announce more results, I believe, in the first half of next year. I didn't read too much into it, but I thought I saw something about how they're going to be releasing some more trial data in the coming months. So that aside, I mean, this is a really bad phase for this to not work out, because they've already been through the other phase 1, phase 2, maybe multiple cohorts of those phases before they got to this one, which tends to be the most expensive, and that's just a lot of capital down the drain now. So of course people are making for the exit.
Yep. Okay. Good stuff here. Next on the list is going to be JFB. This is JFB Construction. And as you can see, this $6 and change stock got some news in the after hours on Friday that rocketed it to 1975. We've bled back more than 50% of that. Now, announced on Friday after the close, JFB Construction shares were trading higher after the company announced a $44 million private placement. So that's what's going on here. The big concern that I have, 13, and I'd be curious to see what you think about this. It sure looks to me like we are going to try and give up this $10.75 support that we've put in here at the pre-market. If we roll back over, I want to see if this breaks down. If it does, I think we probably have another support. We're going to have to find out. Might be in an 8 handle or just a little bit less than that. But this is really the formation that I'm looking at here. Quick look around the horn before I turn it over to you. 0.61% of the float shorted here. That's pretty much nothing with 1 day to cover. On average, the stock trades less than 200,000 shares. Today, it's traded over 11.2 million. Float here is perfect. Exactly what we're looking for at 1.8 million shares. So what do you think here on ticker JFB?
Yeah, so this $44 million private placements with American Ventures is not to create a crypto treasury. As far as I understand, it's for other day-to-day business management, reorganizing, getting their finances in order, operations, things like that. So it doesn't look like they're going to be doing any kind of crypto treasury. The company does have some revenue, but they still lose money. They have about a quarter worth of cash left before they had this private placement. So this is certainly helping them out with that. As far as the technicals go, I do have a downtrend, so I'm sure you can see where that is. But the level that I've got marked off here, 1050, that's from one of the last times we've traded this, I believe.
How about that? Okay, so I was saying about 1075, but 1050, a level from before, that's golden, perfect, 13.
And just beneath that, we had about 1017, 1020. We have the 200 EMA on the 5 minutes. So a couple of areas of support that could kick in here if we do lose that 1050 level. But if we do lose that level, I would be a little bit more concerned about this continuing to go south. But those last two levels that I mentioned, those got to hold up. If we do, I'll be looking for a break of this trend line.
Okay. All right, real good stuff there with the trend line. Downside target trade is setting up here if we get it in JFB 13. Really good breakdown on that as well. Next here on the, well, actually, I guess I should just check in with you. Did you have any movers that you wanted me to cover maybe first, or should I just keep rolling down the list here?
Keep on rolling.
All right. Keep on rolling. Next one here is going to be Dogwood Therapeutics. This one always cracks me up here because there's always jokes and stuff going on. Dog water, this, that, and the other thing here. Anyway, ticker DWTX. This is what's going on. Dogwood shares are trading higher after the company secured a worldwide royalty-free license to develop Serapin Pharma's SP16 IV formulation for cancer-related pain. This stock was just under $6 on Friday, actually traded up on Friday, but today, big rip, up to about 11. We've pulled back, retraced about 50% of the move. That's normal. Seems to be holding on to $8 here, or trying to, at least so far. We are beneath the VWAP here by about $1. A little bit less than $1. So there's a pretty decent range here if this thing does move out of the open. Unsure if we're going to get that. I do see the volume kind of compressing here as well. I'd like to see some more volume flow into that. Quick look at the short interest here. 2.03% of the float shorted. It does have 5 days to cover, but that's because on average, the stock trades 19,000 shares. Today, we've traded 21 million. I don't think this is really going to be a squeeze, or I don't think the short interest is going to be a factor at all for a squeeze here. Also, 1.68 million shares in the float. Pretty perfect for what we're looking at. What do you think on this one, 13?
Well, you know what causes dogwood trees to grow, right?
I don't.
Dog water. All right. So
I walked into that. I literally you opened the door and I walked right through it. Good job.
So phase 2B, that's the results that they got today, and that's why it's moving, guys. 3 to 4 quarters of cash, but no revenue. So hopefully these trials will continue to provide good endpoint data and not result in this other one that we were just talking about earlier, that is down. What was that one? MLTX. Yeah, let's not have DWTX have that fate. As far as the technicals go, this has been trying to hold above 11 on 2 separate occasions. Looks like once in the it's a couple of times in the pre-market here. Once at about 720 and more recently at 805. 1108 is the high of the pre-market, and hasn't been able to get any closes, it looks like, above 11. So that's kind of a resistance area, but I've drawn a line at 1025. I think I was looking more to the left and drawing off of some other previous levels, but 1025 is the level I'm keeping my eye on. It's a little bit above my VWAP. We do have some support kicking in down around the 775 area right now. So it looks like it's trying to curl, but I'm just a little bit concerned about that, that area between 1025 to 11 of that holding up if we do turn around and go higher again. So, and recapture VWAP. So just something I'm keeping an eye on. If it looks like we are turning around, need to get above VWAP. If we do, got to start closing above 11. Otherwise, we're probably just going to end up turning back around and go lower again.
Yeah, I think you're right here. And for a near-term trade, again, a lot of this is going to depend on volume. I think if we hold 8 here, maybe we do have room up to the VWAP and then those levels higher if we're able to cross that. We'll see here. Good breakdown there. DWTX. Okay, the next one here. This is one that we've traded before. Stakeholder Foods. Again, this looked like this was moving on no news. Now, I'd like to check it to see if anything has come out here. Looks like we're still dealing with the Amazon Web Services issue at the moment that they're resolving. But nonetheless here, this did pop. There was no news here. On September 22nd, they signed an agreement to acquire Twine Solutions. That's the most recent thing that we could find here. Looks like it popped a little bit on Friday. Again here today, although it has bled back a lot of those gains to the Friday after hours level. Quick look around the horn on this one. 0.32% of the float shorted here with 1 day to cover. That comes on an average volume of 444,000 shares. This thing's a ghost town. Today, we've traded over 12 million. Float here, micro low float, 411,000 shares in the float. This, I think, was the same as the last time that we took a look at it. We're holding 6 so far. If we hold 6, maybe we have a move up to the VWAP. But 13, what does the chart tell you?
Well, is this company for real? We're 3D printing meat? Is that what this is? 3D printing meat?
I mean, that I hope not, because that sounds terrible.
Go to the website. I don't see how.
Alternative Protein Industries, through its technology, the group specializes in developing and selling 3D printed production machines, supported by a proprietary mix of blends formulated with the highest quality raw ingredients.
Yeah, I'm seeing.
It does not sound appetizing. I'm not hungry. I know we talk about food sometimes on this show. Not today.
Yeah, I'm seeing on their website they have a fish printer, a meat printer. You know what? I'm just gonna say it right now. This has Beyond Meat vibes to me.
Yep, sure does.
So take that for what you will. I mean, it sounds like a great idea, and it could probably actually solve some world hunger issues, if I'm being completely honest. But 3D printed meat doesn't sound appetizing to me.
No, it doesn't.
But you know what? I'm sure it doesn't matter if we've considered what has been sent through processing machines that we've shoveled into our mouths for decades. So maybe I'm being a little bit hard on it. But anyway, the idea of 3D printed meat is just not appetizing. Let's look at the
What
chart.
about a 3D printed donut? Because it appears our producer was busy.
A 3D printed donut, huh?
I don't think so. Veggie Girl says yuck here. I'm curious, and not just for Veggie Girl here, and I apologize if I'm making an assumption that isn't true here, but I'm assuming you're a vegetarian. I would like to hear specifically from the vegetarians what you folks think about these chemical, or in this case 3D printed meat substitute products. For someone like me, there's no appeal, but I just want to make sure someone else that is a strict vegetarian, is there an appeal? If so, what is it? Or do you just prefer delicious, cooked, real vegetables?
This is where vegetarians and carnivores are going to unite, I think.
I think you're right. That's kind of where I'm going here. I think that you're absolutely right, and I just want to get an opinion from some of those people. That's all. No pressure, but if anyone does want to offer your opinion, I'd really like to hear that. I don't care if it's meat, vegetables, or otherwise. If it's fake and processed, I'd rather not have it. That's kind of where I land on all that. Anyway, what do you got?
Yeah, enough with the bagging on the stock itself, but the chart here is looking like we're trying to get back above the 680 level. So we had this first impulse move on Friday that was rejected, and that was in the after hours. Then later, it looks like this morning we had this big impulse move that took us all the way up to 1060, and now we've come back down, lost that support area around 680 that was established on Friday, and we are looking to form a little bit of a base here. Which we've been doing for appears to be the past looks like about a past hour almost. And if we do get this to curl back up, we're going to want to see that retest of that 680 level again in a subsequent breakout, because I have VWAP above there, so that would kind of be ideal if we broke out of that resistance level and went towards VWAP. But that's kind of what I'm looking at here with this one right now. The 3D printed meat aside, I'm just going to trade the technicals, and right now the technicals are telling me that this is trying to establish a base here. I'm not going to touch this one until maybe even the open, or if at all. But even with this sideways price action we're getting, I'm still not confident that this is done with selling off. It doesn't look strong holding up here.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I totally do. Real quick here, Veggie Girl says, actually, I'm a big beef eater. I won't go to the fake crap. Meat is expensive enough and won't pay for questionable ingredients. Facts, 100%. Completely agree with that. Smita says, no way, it's full of chemicals. You guys all see the same thing. Mama Bear here says, give me grass-fed, grass-finished beef. Mama Bear, really quickly, at the course of this wedding, I was calling the groom's Mama Bear the entire wedding. I kept yelling Mama Bear, Mama Bear. She's really cool, by the way, and she loved it, but felt like I was talking to you a little bit at the wedding, just FYI. Okay, real quick here, we have another mover that popped up while we were talking, so we're going to do our best to take a look at this. I know we probably don't have news yet, although it does look like we are spinning up a reserve cluster, so we should actually be pretty good here. 13 doesn't look like I have it yet, but it is coming. I can confirm by looking at the developers here. So sorry I don't have it here. POAI. This is Predictive Oncology. The stock was flirting with dollar territory. It was a penny stock, flirting with dollar territory, closed at 77 cents on Friday. We popped all the way up to 450. Now we're backing off here. I've got the VWAP at 287. It looks like it's trying to use that as support. We'll see if it's successful in doing that. Big move here. Let me see if you know what? Let me actually pull the press release. Let me pull the press release here, 13, and we'll take a look at this, because I want to give you something here. Predictive Oncology. announces private placement of $344 million to initiate a digital asset treasury focused on the XIII tokens. Day trader, ringing the bell here. What is this XIII or ATH? Is that a decent token? Is it Garbo? Blah, blah, blah. But basically, private placement to initiate a treasury strategy is what's going on here. POAI. We've seen these stocks move before. Quick look around the horn on this 1.49% of the float shorted there. That comes on 1 day to cover. That comes on an average volume of 204,000 shares. Today, we've traded 10 million plus. Float on this one's a little bit higher there at 10.7 million. But what do you think here? Ticker POAI.
Well, we've traded this one before. I've got my levels from the last time we did this. I'm not sure if this last time we traded this one was back on in March on the 25th, or if it was back in January, just as the year started. But every single one of those times that this popped up, it resulted in the price going back down, going lower. So I don't anticipate today to be much different. Maybe it will be because it's got a private placement and it's going to be getting a crypto treasury strategy. But I unfortunately I don't have the news feed for me, so I can't see if that's already done or if this is just an announcement. Sure. Like is that what it is? Is this just an announcement? Is that all?
Yeah, that's what it looks like here. I'm in the same boat as you without being able to look at history here, but just kind of going over the PR. The company approximately. Yeah. Sorry, I'm not good at skimming this all fast like you needed me to, but
okay. Well, while you do that, I'm just going to say POAI, we did get a pop up to 449, so just shy of 450. Went through all the levels that I had, but now we're coming back in, and some of those levels are starting to kick in. This could, in my opinion, we could see a pop out of the gate, and then this thing could sell off the rest of the day. We've seen this happen more than once, many times actually with this stock. And you just have to look at the daily history and just go back, look to the left. It's pretty much the same thing every time this pops. It sometimes can go on a bit of a run and then come back in, or it will do that the next day. So I think I'd be pretty careful with this. If you are going to try and trade that pop out of the gate, that might be about the best this has to give, if it's going to give anything today. But it is kind of setting up to maybe do that out of the gate pop. But just exercise some caution with this because this thing had some pretty wild moves. What's even the float on this? I've got a read of 10.7.
Yeah, so 10.7 is exactly what I've got.
Okay, so a little bit high, higher float than we're used to, but it's still within that wheelhouse. I still think exercise some caution on this. It might provide some pretty good trading into the open, but I don't know how long this is going to stick around here.
Okay, and some really good stuff here from our chat. Brian says, if I can get borrow, I'm shorting the hell out of it. LOL. Brian, are you talking about this one? Just want to make sure. Day Trader here says, this is really good stuff, Trader. I'm not sure about XIII, the coin ATH. I think there's I see no older news about that. Appreciate that. So real quickly here, I did want to read you something from this. You let me know what you think about this. This is for POAI. The company intends to use the in-kind contribution of ATH to fund the company's digital asset treasury and to use the remaining net proceeds from the PIPE's primary to fund the acquisition of ATH in the open market and further support thereof, as well as working capital and general corporate purposes. So it looks like, it sounds, you tell me, but it sounds to me like they're doing all of this to just buy as much of this as they can, including on the open market.
Yeah. And that's kind of like making me wonder a little bit here about all these different cryptos. Like, are all of these going to be good, or is it just going to be a really small amount? Because if that's going to be a small amount, they have a lot of companies that are going to go under from all this. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Good stuff there. All right. Let me go back to the movers tool here. Let's see. First of all, did you have anything else on your list that we should get to that I didn't touch already?
No, I don't. I'm just waiting for my newsfeed to show up here. But other than that, everything else is working.
And it's coming. It's coming here, at least from what I hear. Okay, just taking a look here. Also, I see a couple of people asking about this. We might as well take a look at this. Zach here saying, Ryan 13, weed stock sector going up on a Trump tweet here. That was apparently about cannabis having decent. Here we go. Jabara. Trump posted a video about the positive medicinal effects of weed. Like that is likely contributing to that. Yeah.
It was like a CBD, some kind of CBD announcement, I believe. I didn't have enough time to read into it, but I did see it. And don't worry about repeating yourself. If we don't see something here perfectly fine to just repeat yourself as long as you don't.
And a day like today, where we're clearly going through a tech issue, and y'all folks are trying to help us get through the tech issue, that's awesome. Don't worry about that. No problem at all. I noticed this because when I woke up, CGC was up in the pre-market, but I didn't follow what had happened. I would imagine that all of these weed stocks are going to be doing the same thing. But yeah, but that's what's going on here. So I know we took a look at MSOX. MSOS would be another one here. That's higher. It looks like CGC is higher. Take a look at ACB. Looks like that is higher. How about junky old Tilray? Is that higher? Even Tilray higher by about 20% here today. So, okay, real good stuff there. That's what's going on with that. Let's see. Was there anything else on here? Okay, I think that's it. We can probably take a look at charts folks wanted to take a look at. I know that there was some talk about Lithium Americas.
Is that moving again?
This is a little bit lower. It's down just shy of 2% here today. This actually dipped in the after hours on Friday and came back up a little bit.
Maybe take profit. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just taking a look at some of the other stocks that folks wanted to take a look at. I don't really think there's anything else going on here. Let's see. Did I get my news feed back yet? Not quite. I'll check in on that. What other charts that you folks want to take a look at? Supri is saying Zura, Z-U-R-A. I'll leave the movers tool open here in case something goes crazy. Zura, good mention here. Supri, this looks like this is going. Zura Bio. Moving higher. Let me take a look at the short interest on this. This has got nothing. 0.78%, 1.76 days to cover. Traded just shy of 5 million shares. Float here. It's kind of thick there, almost 60 million. This moving, though.
This has been curling up for pretty much the entirety of the year. It's kind of making a rounding bottom all through 2025. Coming up to some resistance. Actually, we're past it now. Let's see where are we at with this. So we've come up through all this, but we're at 390, so we're just shy of 4. We're just
So it does look like I agree with this. So Billy here saying there's some room on the daily chart. I think Billy's right. I do actually think this might have room all the way to 5. I don't know if we're going to get there, but I could see that just based on the daily here.
Yeah, because then you have this resistance back from May of 2023 that kind of suppresses the upward price action beyond 5. So I think I agree with that too. And if it does go beyond 5, it looks like the next big area you have is going to be about 640.
Okay. Good stuff there on Zura. Anything else that you want to take a look at? How much time do we have? 9 minutes. We got plenty of time here. Let's maybe see if any of those other movers went. So MSS lost its VWAP there. Next would be a possible recapture of that. Same here with POAI. That was a good call, by the way, 13. JFB back down to this, 1050. That was the support that we talked about. Can't get above the trend line. Looks like we're in the same setup there. Okay, all of this looks to be about the same.
Yeah, DWTX looks like this is still kind of on the decline, but trying to slow down and maybe put a bottom in. It looks like the momentum is slowing according to MACD as well. But who was that one we were looking at earlier? MSS. I think this needs to bounce pretty soon. Otherwise, this is probably going to go on to 3. Would be my view on this if we don't turn around real soon here.
Okay. What else do you folks want to take a look at? Oklo got a huge 140 price target. This stock, dude. Congrats to anyone that actually swung this. I know I just kind of day traded and scalped this, and looking back, that was the wrong move. Should definitely held on to that. Really good stuff. This is up 6+% in the pre-market on that 140 price target. God, he's saying 140 here. N saying 140 here. I still don't have it yet. I'm sure we'll be able to get that here, though. This thing was actually 140 on Wednesday.
Yeah, I was going to say this thing was, okay. So we're going to go back up to where the resistance was.
Yeah.
Okay. So if that's the case, then that could be a double top, maybe. We'll see. We'll see how that pans out. But 140, we weren't there too long ago. Just last week, and we got rejected. So go back up to the resistance area. Sure, why not?
Okay. Dip Buyer wants to take a look at Intel. Intel had a really busy week last week. Looks like what we're doing here so far in the pre-market, we are doing our best to try and hang on to the lows from Friday.
This thing's coming.
It's a move, pretty quick, pretty fast here. I'm kind of with you. I would like to see this 3760 get tested since we're making this impulse move. We almost got there. But to your point, I think the larger point here is good. This thing should probably take a break if it wants higher, no?
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I think this needs to come back in. We've it's moved pretty high up there in a short period of time. We're still, and the RSI was over 80. This kind of needs to cool off a little bit. I think if we're going to see some coming in, the price is going to be down towards 32 to 29. That's kind of where I would be thinking this comes back in. I think I will also want to see 29 support hold, because if we get that, then we can go and make those higher prints, maybe even hit 40 sometime later on this year. But I think that I'm of the opinion this needs to cool off. This needs to come back in, and I like 29 to 32.
Yeah, I was going to say I would love for this to actually just kind of hold 32. I feel like that would make it for a little bit easier trade. But your 29 level, I see exactly where you're getting that from, and I think you're spot on with that. Okay, good stuff there. We're going to keep rolling here. DraftKings news. Izzy, help us out, bro. What is the news? What is the news? We're currently having a tech issue. Help us out with that. Let's take a look and see where DraftKings is. Doesn't look like it's responding all that much to this news. DraftKings, I know it's green here a little bit, but it's basically flat. Let's see if I've got it back here. Oh, I just saw that. Was that connecting to a new cluster?
This looks like it's gonna. I remember. I think I sent you a Slack message a while back. Maybe earlier this month. I say a while back, like it was like a long time ago. But earlier this month, I'm pretty sure I sent you a thought on DraftKings being a short. And it's starting to look like that might end up being the case here. Now the RSI is getting pretty low here, so I would anticipate a bounce. But if we can't recover 45, sometime next month, I think this is going to go on to lose 40.
Okay. I'll be honest, 13. First of all, this looks like it's rolling over. Mm-hmm. I know we don't have the makings here of a Head and Shoulders on like this recent, but it almost feels like that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
back out a little bit more.
Well, really? How about that? All right. So it's basically is what you're talking about is this. So maybe we do end up going.
Yeah, because look where the neckline is at 30. It's at about 30. I mean, you could argue if it's either going to be at 35 or 30. I'm looking at the neckline being at 30.
Okay.
But yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at here. So a little bit concerned about the price action that we're getting. It's looking a little bit weak, but the levels that I mentioned that we need to, need to hold up. That's what I'm watching for.
Okay. All right. Good stuff there on DraftKings. We'll see what we get. I'm happy to announce that I did hit my bet on the game last night. So I'm ready to go for the Monday night doubleheader here today. Should be awesome. DraftKings news with NBC Universal Sports. What is the news? It's a multi-year deal, it looks like. Okay. And then, you guys, the votes here, the poll, are you bullish going into year end? We had a lot of 13. I opened the show with a lot of stats here showing that the fourth quarter is often the bullish. Like we kind of made a case that either could happen based on the performance that we've seen this September. But I asked the question, are you bullish going into year end? 71% of you said yes, bullish. 18% of you said not sure. We still have the not sure crowd. I also like to call them the let's just see the results crowd. And then also 11% of you are bearish. So a lot leaning bullish here going into the end of the year. I don't know if we should take that as a contrarian signal or a good signal or whatever, but that's where we stand for the vote. Pretty good participation there on that.
Yeah, I'm in the not sure crowd because I think I want to see what we get next month. Ask me again in November.
Okay. Will do. I'll probably ask you several times leading up to that as well, but I'll be sure to re-ask you again in November. All right. We got 3 minutes here. I'm going to flip over to my main workspace. I think I'll just use the charts from this workspace. That way we can at least see what's going on here. Charts seem to be working fine now. Very, very quick outage for that. That was less than a minute. Shout out to the dev team. Looks like we're still waiting there on the news. Let's take a look here. What level was that down at? MSS, right down 381. Looks like it's trying to hold the 15 EMA on then 5 there.
Yeah, but it really has to hold here, as if it doesn't, then I think we are going to go down to 3.
Okay.
Now, stakeholder, that's still going sideways, still getting support from that, the 6 to 615 area. MSS. We were just talking about that one.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm just looking at all of these moving here.
POAI, that's now trading for trading some under the VWAP some more. We lost it about almost 15 minutes ago. It has not recovered. It's only gone lower. I think we're going to need to see this $2 level hold up, or we are probably going to give back even more. Let's see. We looked at Zura. There's so DWTX looks like that's trying to curl up and recapture some levels, but just be careful. We could get a rug pull out of the open here. It is looking like it's turning around though. VWAP I have at 963.
Okay, yeah, this does look like it's going. I've got VWAP at 909 there, by the way. 909. Pavarati forever. That's actually not bad. Can anyone tell me what the news about MSOS is? We literally just covered that. You must have just been just joined a little bit late. We had Trump tweeting about the benefits of medicinal weed and CBD products, and that has popped the entire cannabis sector. So that is what's driving that higher here today. Okay.
Just gotta wait.
Carnival Cruise Lines reporting their earnings. They're beating and raising guidance. Got to imagine that CCL trading up there. You might have RCL trading up in sympathy. Indeed, that's exactly what we're getting here. Ondas looking like that's trying to, sorry, 13. That's twice I've interrupted you. Ondas looks like it's trying to retake 8 here in the pre-market. We'll take that.
Well, if we get big moves out of CCL, there's resistance at $40. And we are open. All right, so TX, that looks like that's trying to push up higher. There's resistance coming at just before $9, but let's see what we end up getting here. This thing has got a bit of a spread to it, so be careful with
yeah, it sure does.
And then MSS, that's trying to turn positive here. We have VWAP at 4. I have it at 470. Let's see what else we got here. POAI, that's going lower. Stakeholder, that looks like that went slightly lower. Looks like we're getting a pull now on MSS.
Let me put that up here. Here's MSS.
So JFB, that went down to 1055. That's just a little bit shy of that support area I had at 1050. So it's getting some support there from the 1050 area, but this is moving very, very slowly. There's not a lot of volume. The spreads a little bit big here, 10 to 15 cents at sometimes. So be careful with that one. Not really seeing any upside with some of the movers yet today. DWTX, though, that looks like that might get going here. They're trying to lift it up over VWAP, but
okay. Just scalp that on that pullback a little bit there. I didn't get much though.
Just might have to wait for some piece of setup here.
I'm actually not even thrilled with the execution there. I feel like that wasn't. Ondas. Yo, Ondas, give it to me. Let's go, dude.
This is the only real mover we need, right?
I mean, Zach here saying that Ondas invested in Copen. So that's pretty good here. Ondas popping on this news, looking real good. Boy, I'll tell you what, I am so glad that I bought some calls to trade around on that.
$10, next big resistance area I see. There might be some at 950, but $10 is the big one.
Yep. $10 is where I would actually trim a little bit more. Let's go there.
POAI, this thing just not looking great. It looks like this is going to go even lower. There's a seller that was walking it down.
Okay.
JFB, this thing just went down to the 200 EMA. This is where it's going to have to bounce. JFB.
Okay.
So it's looking like it's getting that right now. But this thing has got a 19-cent spread right now. Be very careful with JFB. It looks like DWTX is trying to capture the VWAP.
That one's kind of all over the board. You're gonna have to be careful with that one. 13. I'm gonna leave. You know what? I'm gonna leave DWTX on the screen. I'm gonna step away for 1 sec. I'll be right back. All right, buddy.
Sounds good. All right. So there's JFB trying to bounce up to 200 EMA. DWTX that's trying to recapture the VWAP that it lost out of the gate here. MSS. This looks like this is coming down to towards 3. And POAI, this thing just continues to go lower. What else are we looking at here? So JPN, you're talking about Tesla. I'll take a look at that in a second here. Once ONDS hits $10, I'm subbing to your guys' after hours chat room. Sounds good to me, man. Love to see you there. GPS Penny getting some volume, or GPUS. We've traded this one before. GPUS. This was I think a name that was moving on crypto news the last time we traded this one. 54 cents right now. This is. So what was the situation here? Is this getting some volume? Let me look at this on my broker. GPUS. Okay, so we moved from 50 cents to 54. Looks like we had a 55 cent high in the pre-market here, and we're trying to the price is trying to make its way up there. It could even break that 55 cent level. There's also another resistance area with 57.5. That was the high from the pre-market on Friday. So there's another level that you could mark off.
Are you talking about DWTX here?
Talking about GPUS. This was getting some volume, so I just thought I'd take a look at it.
DWTX is going to move to the VWAP here. I've got it at 907 and 903 in my broker and trading view respectively here. We are trading up. That one moving here.
Yep, this one's showing that the momentum is starting to swing in the opposite direction. That's what we want to see. Now we do have that $10.25 and $11 resistance areas to the upside here for DWTX. It's where the price action was topping out in the after hours on Friday and this morning, topping out around that $11 area. So as we move up towards that area, make sure you're paying yourself on the way up. Now it looks like MSS is trying to find some support around 3. We just went shy of that level, down to 310 before we had a brief bounce. We'll see if it turns around here. $4 is now resistance. Let's see what else we got here. JFB, this has been the ugliest one so far this morning. Went right through VWAP. I'm sorry, not VWAP. Went right through the 200 EMA on the 5-minute. Now it's trading beneath it. Not a great looking chart here. And this went beyond the level I said had to hold, that 1050 area. So now this isn't looking that great. Maybe it gets some support at some of these lower levels. I'd maybe look at, I suppose, the low that it put in already around, what is this, 970. So 970 to, I would say 865, 870 is going to be the current support area I see. And I'm not even sure if that's going to hold up.
Okay, good stuff. Sorry, I'm posting a message here about the outage.
Yep, DWTX is moving up. I'll look at DVLT.
Okay, I should be okay for right now. Which one?
DVLT. Data
Got it.
So this one looks like the momentum is also swinging upwards as well. Got resistance at between 137 to 140. That's where it's been running into some problems this morning as we were trading up. This has been in a bit of an uptrend lately. I even have a trend line from when this was moving last week here. And if that continues, let's just humor it and say it does. Seems like we could see a print of like around 165 to 170 if it goes towards that trend line again that it's been hitting for the past couple of days. No guarantee that happens. It's not really moving that quickly, but that's the resistance I see from here. We've got to get over this 140 level.
Okay.
Nothing looking too great. Maybe DWXT or TX looking like the most decent one, and that's not really giving a whole lot of price action to trade on.
Yeah, I was going to say on top of it, the price action here was kind of nasty. I mean, even now we're seeing pulls down to the support. They did test the VWAP. They just peaked above the VWAP, yanked it again. This is not easy, although it did work out of the gate here. I hit a very small one on this. I think it was probably more luck than anything else, honestly. Not the greatest areas to buy and sell there. JFB losing that 200 EMA. It's trying. Okay, it's still figuring it out.
Yeah, it's coming back up to that 1050 area. It's getting rejected there. We didn't want to see that turn into resistance because that's now going to make it harder for the price to recapture it. But if it does, we're still looking for that break of the trend line if we can get back up there. I just don't know that I'm really that enthusiastic about this right now since we've lost 1050.
Yeah.
I want to see some actual reversing happen. Maybe even put in a base.
Totally agree with that. IREN here, this spiking out of the gate. A number of you folks who were talking about IREN. I know some of you have traded this. Grats to everybody. In fact, I probably owe several register rings for this one because it was such a big mover. So there you go. Sorry I'm late on that. IREN here moving out of the gate. Nice buy under 40 on Friday. Indeed, let me ask you guys, do you guys have targets for this? I mean, 50, 49, is this pretty much what we're looking at here on IREN? Just wondering where this is going next.
Let me look at a smaller time frame because you see these 2 days, like last Wednesday and Thursday, those days where we were trying to get up to 50 and we were getting rejected.
Yeah,
I'm gonna look and see what that was about, what was happening in those intraday. So I think that's going to give us some resistance levels that we can use. So let me just see what we got here. Let's just take a look and see what we got.
Cipher Mining shares are trading higher after Rosenblatt and Canaccord raised their price targets. That's CIFR. I'll check that out while 13 is looking into that.
Yeah, it looks like 46 is going to be a big one of the next big. Okay, this is kind of interesting. So if we can get up above 46, it seems like 46 is a bit of a breakout level. Now, if you look at a 5-minute time, if you go to a 5-minute, perfect. Here we go.
Gotcha.
So you see the trend line already? You see the trend line from those highs? Yep.
Right here. Yep.
So do that, and then also mark off.
Oh, dude.
And then also mark off the $46.
Did I get this right? Is this? Are we basing?
Yeah. And
dude,
then also mark off the
perfect. 46. How does it work like that?
I don't know. Stocks. How do they work? They're like magnets, right? So IREN, and then also mark off a horizontal level at 46. That was a support area turned resistance as of Friday. It turned to resistance. So now we're trying to recapture that level. Do you see that 46? So 46 is a potential breakout area with that trend line and the resistance level. So interesting level 46 for IREN. Okay. Hopefully we get the volume to match it.
This has been a great trade for whoever's in IREN. Really good stuff there. Definitely missed that one with the group here. DWTX looks like we're still flirting with the VWAP here and the $9 level, which are pretty much layered on top of each other. We'll see if we get that here. DWTX, dogwood. I laugh every time I say it, 13. I just cannot help myself.
Be careful with dogwood. This I don't like this the price action that it's giving here, where it's having a hard time recapturing 9. We're facing its third rejection now. If this candle closes without going above 9, I think this could end up coming back in. So we need to break out here. We need to move beyond 9 and close above it with this current candle, just like this. Perfect. Come on, keep going. Keep going.
Here we go.
Squeeze me home. Take me up to 1025.
I was going to say a move above the VWAP is actually what we'd really like to see here with DWTX. If this can, no position for me, but if this can sustain, higher we can go here.
Yeah, and look at the price action from the pre-market. 950 is the spot that we have to get through right now, and then we should be able to get to 1025. But that's the next spot here, 950. Was having a hard time getting above there, but we did spend about 20 minutes above that level before we lost it, and we're not successful recapturing it. Now we're flirting with it as resistance again. If we get through 950, I think we're going to potentially see 925 here.
Okay, buying volume looks good here still on DWTX.
Hi, Catherine. J. Rice saying MP does not have an RSI of 4. Where do you get this? Who's saying that it has an RSI?
Yeah, I saw that comment too. I don't remember that. It looks like one of the chatters there, but whatever. RSI should be on the chart there, honestly. Should be able to very easily check that. I'll add the RSI here for MP, and we can take a look at it.
Yeah, daily RSI I have is 44.
I bet it was a typo then. I bet it was a typo. Yeah. I bet that was just a typo. That's all. Okay. Cool. DWTX here. Let me go back to that. Put that on screen. Let's see if we're continuing to move here above. Ondis bouncing here. Marvell. Does anyone think Marvell goes higher? This actually looks like this might look at this level that we're at right here on the chart. Really think like this 84.5 might be a potential push higher here. Reason I bring this up, I saw some people talking about this on FinTwit. This chart looks great. I'm actually seeing some options here, but they look to be to the put side. Does anyone think Marvell breaks higher here? You have to let me know.
If it is, it seems like $90 might be the spot where it could go much higher. You are getting a little bit high on the RSI now. We're over 71. So, I would anticipate there to be some selling at some point soon, but we're trading above the 200-day SMA for the third day now, so thinking maybe if we hold this 200-day SMA, which means we're going to have to put in a support area of 80. If we can hold above 80, this may end up printing higher. So that's what I'd be watching for with MRVL. But this is getting a little extended here. I would think this comes back in slightly. And just as I said, if it does, need to see that support from the 200-day.
Yeah, it's flashing a breakout there, but I'm not sure that breakout trades are going to necessarily keep going. I don't feel great about it. It does look like it's going to try and go higher there. After 85, it will open to 125, says Sam. And Buffalo by Bicycle says, yes, higher long term.
All right. So then you're going to want to see these pullbacks from time to time so it doesn't get overextended. Okay, so let's see here. Man, these movers from this morning, not really good. Oh, data vault. I'm sorry for anybody that was trading that. I know that was getting asked about that earlier, but this just had a big pull.
Is that DVLT, I'm guessing? Data vault AI, yeah.
Yeah, this thing just had a nasty pull that took it beneath the 125 area.
Gotcha.
Looks like that was like support, it seems. But 200 EMA is next. I have that down at 117. That's going to be where the support kicks in.
Also, we saw Tesla here, talked a little bit about the inset. Basically, Tesla saying that go get your credit, your $7,500 credit before it expires tomorrow. You can still take delivery of purchased vehicles past September 30th, but not leased vehicles. Someone earlier said that looked like just kind of a ploy to maybe raise some numbers. Yeah, that's true. Tesla here, you can see volatile on that. It's actually come off the 451 high that it printed, 450.98 to be specific. I am seeing some call activity here come across the wire, though, so it does look like there is some option flow in Tesla here. This, to me, looks like 450. It looks like we're going to try and go higher here a little bit.
Is MSS reversing here? I don't know yet. It's certainly looking like the selling could be slowing down, but I haven't seen any indication that this is turning around yet. This still looks like the momentum to the downside hasn't given up yet. There's support coming at about 216. That's the 65 EMA, and beneath that you have 200 EMA at 141. Not saying that those are going to go right down to there, but I have not seen this slow down. We just made a new regular session low, so I don't think that this has stopped yet. We have to wait for those.
Yeah, this to me looks like a falling knife. So to your point, I think if you're trading this to the long side, you might be trading kind of a falling knife there. MLTX, that was that big stock that was down 90+%. Let's see if we're bouncing here. Nope, not yet. Again, be careful with this one too.
POAI might be turning around though. This putting in a couple of reversal candles, and now the current candle that we're in has recaptured VWAP. We're also coming up to a resistance area of 185 that we just moved through. So if we get a close above that, actually this might go into, nope, it looked like it was about to go into a halt. No, it is halted. I'm sorry, it did go into a halt.
So POAI halted to the upside. Okay.
Yep.
Big Bear Hug here says, I see a lot of new Model Ys in my area. Looks like a bunch of people wanted to lock in the credits before they expire. That's interesting there. And then there was another thing there about the credit. Marcus, it said it's still $50K for a base model. And Marcus, I think that this is definitely like a really good point here. I think that I don't know how much that credit is actually going to have an effect on folks that aren't looking specifically for an EV, right? Like the only reason you're paying $50K for a base model is because that's what you want. Sorry, which one?
JFB. This knifed out of the open. We found some support. It had a big reversal after recapturing the 200 EMA. Now we're coming up to that trend line that we drew earlier. Well, you don't have it on there, but we.
No, I had it on the other one though.
Yeah.
I had it on the other one though. JFB. This is a really good mention. That did kind of hold that low there. You guys are mentioning Ondas here. I'll see if I can get the news pulled here for that. Ondas up almost another 12% here. Oh yes, take the highs here. 858, 859.
SCOR. Sorry to interrupt you, but SCOR. This is getting some volume. It's got a pretty big spread to 25 cents that I see. Be careful with this one, but this just started moving up, and now it's getting a big pull.
This pretty all over the place too.
Yeah, it looks like we're starting to get a little bit more action here in some of these movers. Some haven't woken up quite yet. Others are starting to move a little bit better. That JFB, that's right at that 65 EMA, trying to get over that trend line that we drew. This is been a little bit of a tough morning.
Gil Whopper says stopped out with a 5% gain in DWTX. Really good job utilizing your stops on an upside move there. Done for the day already.
And
on
he's
that.
disciplined.
Yeah.
No, that's discipline.
I was going to say, I don't hate that. Don't hate that at all. Good stuff there.
Lots of these things are not really working right now. You know, if you whichever one that you decide to take, if it doesn't work out and you have rules, clearly he does. I think that's a great way to live. That ensures you come back here tomorrow, find something else, make some money, keep on going.
Let me see if I can take a look at this here real quick. Let me try and give this to you. Oh. I might have asked the computer to do too much at once there. Here's your news. Oh, accept all. Oh my God, just come on. Sorry. I can't even load this. Here's your PR real quick. Theon International, Ondas Holdings, and Unusual Machines make a strategic investment in Kopin. That's ticker KOPN. This underscores Kopin's long-term growth potential. So looks like total of 19.5 million shares there at $210 per share. Kopin, again, KOPN, the stock to trade on this. Netflix coming back to even. We talked about that, or someone mentioned that a little bit earlier. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. I'm trying to catch up on all of this. Here's Kopin. This is the stock that is getting that private placement that's reacting to that. Ondas here actually having a better day.
Yeah, dip buyer. I do like that 250 area for resistance out of this open. Now we might not get that right, the second we open, but I am looking at that as the resistance area once we open here. That's the next one I have above where the price closed at the halt. So good mention. I think that's something that I love. I'm keeping my eye on too. And it also does look like, I'm sorry, who was asking about MSS earlier, asking if it was reversing. It looks like it's trying to form a base right now. I wouldn't say that it's reversing quite yet, but it's definitely worth a watch because certainly it looks like it's trying to stop with the sell-off that it's had since the pre-market. Hey, thanks, Tenzin. Appreciate it, man. Glad you're here with us.
Yeah, likewise. I love positive vibes for the group. And it's pretty easy on a Victory Monday, to be honest with you. Ondas and KOPN, both Massachusetts ties there. That's good stuff.
JFB, this name that had the trend line. So we popped above it. We back tested the trend line. We're doing that right now. We're trying to hold the 65 EMA. The sideways price action from the pre-market that was from about 7 to 8:30. That's the big area that I think is concerning me about getting through. We need to get some more volume in order to get through that. That's going to be from about let's see here, from about 12:30 to about 13:30, so about $1 in there that we have to chew through. As long as we hold this 65 EMA in the trend line, looks like that could be something we end up getting there.
Superi made some money on Ondas. I love to hear it. Congrats. Really good stuff. Jay mentioning that Oklo, which got a price target raise here today, back to that 140. Oklo, they did a deal with a Swedish company. Jay, what do you think about this? I know this is really kind of extended. I know we've pulled back a little bit here. You think we get a potential gap fill here up to that 140 area? Let me know what you think here on Oklo, if there's some more room to kind of trade this, or is this a wait and see?
Edward is saying that FCX is reversing. Or is that finally done selling off after the mine incident?
That's actually a pretty good mention there, because if that's the case, this might be a decent buy after that. Here's what it looks like if we zoom out a little bit. You can see, to 13's point, is it done yet? To me, that's the $64,000 question. Sure looks like 35 is the bottom so far.
Yeah, and I'm looking at resistance at about 38.50. So I think for me, I'm going to say, let's just see what happens once we get up there, if we can recapture that or not. But this chart doesn't look encouraging to me. Now, today might provide a pretty good trade. Maybe even get another upside trade tomorrow that takes you up to that 38.50 area. But this price action that we've been getting over the past several trading sessions, not looking the greatest to me. So I'm not really interested in this one right now. I think 38.50 could be a tough resistance area, but if it manages to recapture it, $40 next level we need to get above. That's just slightly above the 200-day SMA.
And then I would say 42 after that. Good stuff there, 13. Really good stuff. Okay.
Are we thinking DWTX is done?
Let me bring it up. Let's take a look.
Well, it could be. I'll say if it loses that 775 area and the 65 EMA, it's probably done for the morning at least. Maybe it comes back like some of these tend to do, but that would be the level I'd be watching for.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, this multiple rejection, frankly, at the VWAP here, or I would say it took multiple candles in order to complete this rejection. To me, 8 is the drop dead here. If this trades below 8, I'm not interested in holding. It looks like it might get some support there, $7.30 or $7, but this would be the area to trade that against. If it holds it again, maybe we make another run towards the VWAP there. Not looking great, though, so far.
Stakeholder, this 3D printed food name, that might go into a halt here. This had just yep, now it's halted. So this just had a sudden pop up to the 65 EMA. Once this opens, I'm going to be looking at 7 and the VWAP as the 2 resistance areas for the stock. I don't know how high this thing is going to go. I'm really not interested in trying to make a 3D printed meat company part of my portfolio. So this would be, if anything, a quick trade in and out. But I don't even feel good about grabbing this out of the halt. So
yeah, I'm with you there. NUAI, this was a mover from last week. This getting some action here again. Tennis is life watching this. 250 seems to be the resistance area here. I think that could also represent a target to the upside if this continues. Volume not looking terrible here, but we want this to continue. If we get a pop and like a compression like we did on Friday, I think this probably comes back in very much like it did on Friday. In fact, it struggled to get above the VWAP in that instance. We'll see if NUAI can do that. This has been a pretty good mover there.
I would think it has to come back in with a 91 RSI. I think this certainly has to come back in.
That would make sense.
I would like to see it come down to 140 or maybe 145. 145 is where the 200-day SMA is. So if we cooled off to that, that might be a good spot to reconsider this. But for now, I don't think I would want to touch it up here.
Cam is saying lab meat will be the future. Cam, I don't want to live in that future. I'll be honest with you. I have zero interest in being in that future.
Yeah, he might not be wrong, but we're not there yet. So,
and with all due respect, I love you, Cam, but with all due respect, I hope you are wrong with that one.
Yeah.
Nothing personal.
Let's see here. So JFB hasn't broken down. We did lose. Oh, here we go. We're getting a pop again. Maybe it's going to try and push through that 1250 area. That 1230 to 1330. Still needs to clear the high of the regular session, but it looks like it's trying to give that push.
Real quickly here, Marcus is saying, did you guys pick up any shares of MBOT? He liked the CEO and the tech. I did not.
No.
What I will say here, though, on MBOT, let's see what happens at $3 because we could have the round number. We have a trend line that we're, despite the sell-off, it's a very steep trend line, but despite the sell-off, we're doing our best to stay above this. Let's see if this holds 3, Marcus. That actually might make for entry if it can do that. I did not pick this up, though, on that.
I'm not sure about this. I mean, today kind of may determine, or maybe it's this week. We are losing the 65 EMA on the daily. The last time we did that earlier this month, we had a reversal the following day that took us up to 375 later that week. So I don't know about this one right now. It certainly doesn't look the most appealing. Maybe it's going to be better later down at lower levels. Like I could see how this could be more attractive, maybe at 280. But I don't like the price action right now. I think we really need to see that some reversing happen here, or this is going to go lower.
Okay. MBOT, we'll see. Marcus, keep us posted on that. I'm just curious on how that trade shakes out here. If I end up not buying it myself, I may lose track of it. So remind me. BKKT, this is your, a crypto exchange? This thing ripping out of the open here. This took out 19 with the quickness and went to 22. This actually some pretty good buying volume on this as well. Nice move out of the open here. BKKT was not on this one.
kind of breaking a bit of a trend line too. Now, the trend line I drew goes back from November of last year, and I drew through the highs of July of this year.
You know what? I'm going to add that here to this chart. I think that's a good one, 13. Did you draw them through this one, the one on July?
Yeah.
Yep. And look where we're at.
We're coming right up to right now. So
either we're at, dude.
Either we're going to get resistance right here, or this is going to be a breakout, and we could even see prints higher than 26, maybe later this week. I don't know about today.
Okay. Izzy, Ryan, what are you in? No day trades at the moment. I did scalp DWTX once today, but I'm kind of staying off that one. I don't love the chart there. Nothing else day trade wise that I'm in. As far as the swings there, remember, I did add some Ondas calls 2 weeks ago. I'm looking to try and sell those if we get a little bit more of a pop here, or at least start lightening them. Otherwise, no other short-term trades on deck yet. Did notice that Bitcoin had a pretty big move up there, 114.5 on that move higher on the futures.
Ray, fine job with Bull. That's been steadily climbing over the past several trading sessions. I do see that there is some resistance coming at about 16. So I don't want to change your plan or anything, but just keep that in mind. We are coming up to a resistance area. Let me look at my other chart here, because I do have levels marked off, and I know that 16 is one of them. So if we do manage to get through 16, 18 would be the next level I'd be keeping my eye on for resistance. There was the last time we did get through 16, there was some resistance just above the $17 level. So that could be another area as well, but I think 18 is the stronger one. So let's see what happens with this price action. 16 is the level we need to start closing over if we're going to see further upside.
Okay, good stuff there on Bull. All right, we don't need any of that spam. Sorry, dude.
Stakeholder is open. It just recaptured the 65 EMA. Now it's going to back test it as support. Still not above VWAP. I have that at 719, but this is STKH trying to turn around and push higher.
Okay. Ondas going back towards the highs. That's ticker ONDS. I have that intraday high there, 871. We'll see if that breaks. I got him, Zach. Don't worry.
JFB is coming up to that area. Well, we already started to get some resistance from that sideways area that I mentioned at 1230. So we're hitting 1230 again. 1250 is next, and then we have that 1330, the top end of that consolidation. We have to get through too. So if we get rejected here, it's understandable. But if we break out, this is going to be interesting here. We want to see this get above 1250.
Okay, interesting there on JFB. Also, someone here was asking, Ryan, can I get some help on SPXS? Help me with any news. Did it have a split? That's the Direction Bear S&P ETF. I don't see any split news on that. I don't have any news on that, my man. Here is JFB flirting with that 12. 1250 is the level that you needed?
Yeah, so the consolidation is like from 1230 to 1330, but that 1250 area looks like it has like the thick of it. So really need to see us get through that level there. We also are getting JFB to try and push higher. This is the same one. Push higher into that. There we go. Now we just moved through 1230. We went up to the 1250 area. Got a little bit of rejection. We're trying to chew through this now. This is starting to get some volume.
But I'll tell you what, that happened fast. As far as a trade goes, 13. I don't know if you traded that. That happened real quick.
No, 1330 is the next area of resistance if this holds up here. So yeah, you would have to have already been in this for that move. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing here. So getting some pressure from that 1250 area. If we can get through the seller at looks like there's one at 1270. He's the largest seller in the way right now, ahead of the 1330. Maybe there's another one that reloads after we get through him, but 1270 is where that seller is. It's keeping this from going higher right now. Stakeholder got rejected.
Here comes that 1270 again. That happened. Man, this thing is all over. You're absolutely right about 1270. We'll see if we break that here.
Bull went up to 1576. So, and then now it's a reversing big pull off of that level. Was looking for 16. Couldn't quite get there. 24 cents shy of that resistance area.
POAI is open and it looks like it's still holding lower here on POAI 145.
Oh yeah.
You're good. Learn with Moses. Tennis is Life saying August pending home sales rise 0.5% from the previous year. That was from earlier, right? That's still a good data print there. Rocket's actually lower here by 0.68%. And let's take a look at BLNE, Beeline, which we just had that interview this morning. That's actually lower here by only about 3.3%. Actually looks like it's up off the lows as well.
And JFB still trying to chew through these sellers. It's making its way higher. We have a high of 1283 in the regular session.
So it did pop there, and there's more. 13's
13.
coming now. Grats to anyone that had JFB.
Yeah.
And this did hit, Billy's right. This hit nearly $20 in the after hours. I think that was what, 1970 something, 19 and change. So the range is there.
1973, yeah. Yeah, and this trend line, that's what we wanted to see. We wanted to see this break. Now we need to get above that 1330 level. Or for starters, let's just close above 13. That'd be great. I'm not in this, but I'm just saying.
Yep, same. Pretty interesting there. We're going to pull back here. Cam says, hypothetical, if you could only have 3 indicators, which are you choosing? Now, this is a tough one because to me, when you say 3 indicators, does that mean 3 different moving averages? Because if so, probably want to go VWAP, RSI, MACD. But if moving averages only counted as 1, I'd probably go moving averages, RSI, VWAP. Anyway.
Yeah, I definitely would go with VWAP. If I have to choose just one EMA, probably 65.
Oh, so an EMA.
Yeah. RSI, I'm kind of torn, because I want to have order book. I think I'd want to have order book, but if just we're looking at charts only, then yeah, VWAP, RSI, and the 65 EMA. I think that would be it for me. Yeah. Oh, as one. So you could have multiple moving averages, but it would count as one. Because if that's the case, I'd go with my moving averages. DVLT actually getting some support from the 200 EMA on the 5-minute. So we'll see if that can try and reverse here. Been a bit of a rough morning for these movers. Only a handful of them have really had any success, and the success has been very, very quick and out of nowhere.
This YCBD, this CBDMD, this looks like this is moving with the Trump tweet.
Oh, yeah. App is a monster printing machine. Well, as long as it's not printing beef.
This has really been a monster. I'll be honest with you, Lion. I'll take the L on this. I'll mea culpa this. When we first got this short report and this thing really got dragged down, even with the recovery, I did not see 700 coming. I mean, this thing took the potential head and shoulders that we had and told it to go F itself. And it just went higher and pretty much doubled from the low or from one of the pullback levels that we had after that short report. Lion, I didn't see this coming. Grats to you for staying the course, bro.
I'm not really liking.
Hey, look at this dip buyer drawing some connections here. Samsung confirms plans to make foldable displays for a major American company. I wonder who that could be.
Yeah, the company that may not be innovating much right now, perhaps.
Perhaps. I don't know if you heard, but we did get some really good news about demand from China, coupled with poor demand news for Xiaomi, the local Chinese brand. So it appears Apple might actually be taking back some more market share in a previously tough market. That would be notable.
And you remember how I think it was Huawei that came out with the trifold, and that was maybe popular for about a week. And then all these reports about, the trifold breaking or having screen issues and this and that and the other thing. I still don't like the whole. I thought we moved past folding, with the clamshells. I thought we were all done with that, but I guess we're not. I don't get the appeal. Maybe
do I. I'm with you, dude. I'm a tech guy, and I generally like all that stuff, but the folding phone never did it for me. By the way, no. WDC, I know we talked about this being a potential regression back to the mean, more extension here. WDC, I think we might as well also take a look at STX, which was another one in that same thing. This chart looks the same. SNDK would have been your third in that. All look the same. Micron, which we also talked about. Look at this.
Yep.
All of these look like they're trying to go higher here.
Got to put that data somewhere,
Right.
even if it is temporary. Geez, Micron, no way that this does the trend thing. No way. Hold on a second. So I'm looking at a weekly chart from Micron, and I just kind of like out of the corner of my eye noticed that there was a bit of an uptrend here going back to 1994 that you could draw a trend line on, and I'm just like, no way this happens. This would imply that the price is going up into the 300s, in the next several years, maybe. I could see it, but doubling.
That's a double from where we're at.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. So we'll see if that trend holds up. I put the line out there. We'll see how accurate it is. But yeah, those storage, data storage companies, hard drives, NAND.
Yep. All that stuff. BKKT, we did that continuing its rip higher. That's actually through the trend line now on BKKT. We'll see if it closes above that. There might be more multi-day move if it closes above that trend line. Just something to keep in mind.
Well, Jay, Dell's not making these components. They're just kind of throwing them all together into servers and then selling them. So I think to your point about them, going with these names, possibly, but they're not a storage company like Micron and Seagate and Western Digital are. Since $95, nice job to buy. Trump endorses cannabis for senior health care.
That is, I agree. That is a step in the right direction if you're bullish on the cannabis and CBD theme. I don't know if that's the big thing. We've done a really good job outlining what the really big pieces of news are, but it's hard for me to say that's anything but a good step in the right direction.
I think the one we want to see, because this is when they've been talking about, is when they start introducing that to the VA.
Yeah.
So I think that's the headline that we really want to see. So yeah, so he's endorsing it for senior health care. That's great. I don't necessarily think that means that government money is going into the sector, but if it was for the VA, it would pretty much guarantee that money is going there. What's the name of the hard drive that Dell makes, Jay?
Like their solid state drive?
MU is a chip, but you know that there are these things called solid state drives, and those are chips. So MU is storage. It's also volatile storage, which is known as RAM.
Dip Buyer says we need Sydney Sweeney to start advertising for cannabis.
Well, I mean, you know what? If she seems to be the golden goose, right? Every time that she shows up into a company's ad, the company's stock starts going. So yeah, sure.
I guess that's a potential headline to look for. I don't know if we get that, but a potential headline to look for. Izzy here brought up LDI. Izzy, I don't know if you have this same line on your chart, but we had marked off this line. I think this is 310, right? Or no, $3 exactly. Looks like we bounced off that clean here. I guess my question here is, do we expect LDI to maybe bounce? Pretty good range on a potential move back up to 5 if it does bounce. And we're holding it here. I really like to see this go green. Decent bounce here this morning, though.
Right. It's DRAM, Jay. Google what DRAM is. It's volatile storage. It's temporary. It's what just Google it. It's storage. It's temporary storage. It's necessary for pretty much all computing applications out there.
Yep.
And
I agree, Brian. Legal in all 50 states, legal federally is the big thing, and then being able for those companies to bank without worrying is going to be the other big thing. And that's what I mean. We've been kind of on that for a while. Oh, also, we didn't really talk about this, but this is something to mention. 13. I'd be curious to know if you have any sympathy bets on this. You might not. EA. This traded higher on Friday and higher again here today. This on a potential take private deal. I'd be curious to know if you think there are any other video game companies in which this would make sense.
I mean, The video game companies are kind of consolidating. They've been doing that for a while because ever since the Activision Blizzard came into the Microsoft fold, the whole environment, the number of companies that are traded publicly, really, have been sinking. There's like Tencent, you have EA, and then you had ATVI. I don't think there's any other, to my memory, there's no other major video game publishers out there that are publicly traded. I might be wrong about that because
the reason I brought this up is because I'm not in. This was a monster trade. If you recall, we were buying this 115, 118 on a huge bounce, and with this trade has been closed for a while, so I have no position in this. But I'm disappointed because that would have been awesome to still be in this. This was almost a double from those areas that we were buying it. And my immediate thought was, well, where can we go for this for the next move here? I don't even know if we get that. Or I don't even know if there is another company that's going to move up on this. Anyway, good stuff there, 13.
Thank you, Big Bees. That's right. I was thinking there was one more I knew was missing.
TTWO. Yep. Take-Two.
Yeah. It's funny. EA may go private before we get GTA 6. That whole meme.
T2, this up as well on that.
Just kind of looking at some of these movers. This is, I mean, it looks like JFB might be trying to print some new higher session highs, but man, none of these movers looking great.
Nope, not in any of them. Don't see a setup in any of them either.
Nope.
BLNK is another one being mentioned here by P. Let's take a look at BLNK. That's Blink Charging.
Yeah, Cam, I said 10 cent. 10 cent was the other one I mentioned, EA, and then Take-Two was the one I was remembering. Thank you, guys. BLNK asks,
yep, Blink Charging. So this is actually popped above the Tuesday, September 23rd high.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I guess Sony's more in like the area with Microsoft right now, since they've got multiple things going on for them. But video games are part of as like one of their segments. So I guess that's true. You're right about that, Andrew. No worries. Oh, Sega's still traded publicly? That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Sega Genesis?
They kind of saying SGAMY is Sega, but it's pretty small. I mean, they still got that Sonic IP and a couple of other really popular IP, but I think they mostly just license it to like Nintendo and some other, other game consoles.
SanDisk. This also at the highs. We talked a little bit about that storage trade.
More storage.
Yep.
Good one.
S-Core. Did anyone mention this one earlier? This is ComScore. This had a pop and drop, but it's actually above the VWAP at the moment.
I saw somebody mentioning that earlier. This is moving. It's just moved over to VWAP right now. It looks like 975 was the resistance area, and I think we mentioned that earlier. I don't recall what I was saying earlier about this one, but 975, that's resistance in the regular session. I guess you could draw a bit of a trend line from the high in the pre-market, which is 1080 through the
okay, I'll do that.
High. We're kind of breaking that trend line right now.
Yes, we are.
So, but I want to see some more volume in this, and this thing has a bit of a spread to it too. It looks like it's about a 10-cent spread. Need to see volume in this if we're going to go higher. It would be great to see this thing break beyond 1080, but it's not going to do it with this volume, in my opinion. We need to see better volume.
You guys are mentioning FOFO here being down. Someone was mentioning that earlier with no context when it was trading up. Funny, I haven't heard him since then. Here's what FOFO looks like. This is Hang Fang Tech Innovation. This thing absolutely shellacked. And I'm sorry, it's not down 4%. It's down 42%. So FOFO here getting absolutely crushed. Hope nobody is in this one.
Thank you, Jay. I don't know how I completely forgot about Nintendo, but yeah, because I used to own that one, but I haven't owned it for a while because that thing has been on. It went on a run, and I sold out because I was holding it for the dividend, and that dividend's not really attractive anymore. It's hopefully this comes back in, but this was really ramping up into the launch of their Switch 2. I haven't taken a look at it in a while. I used to own this thing under $11. Don't own it anymore though.
Ring register on that. That ticker is NT Doi, by the way, not ND Toy.
Yeah, this and it kind of looks like it's probably topping out here over the past half year, or maybe not been past 3 months. Kind of been going sideways here. Looks like 24 has been a bit of a resistance area. So I would like to see this one come back in because it was a really good stock and I enjoyed holding it. We just want it at a much cheaper price. I don't think I'm a buyer up here.
You guys mentioning the 100% tariffs on Hollywood movies not made in the United States. Netflix responded to that earlier. What a gift that was. $11.90 was your pre-market low. This has gone green now. Netflix stock has given up its prior loss. They were trading lower after President Trump said he will impose a 100% tariff on movies that are made outside of the States. Netflix not buying any of that.
I'm being asked if
Good morning, Smoke Tuna. It's Sorry. Good morning, Smoke Tuna. It's good to see you. Yeah, Fofo, dangerous, but that trade looks like it's done here.
I'm getting asked about LDI. Is it reversing? Do we have $3 as support? I see $3 as support because based on the price action we were getting earlier this month.
Yep. We had it marked off too. So
yeah, I don't know if this is guaranteed to hold up. We are kind of trading beneath the 20-day SMA right now. If we are going to reverse, you're definitely going to have to recapture that. I want to see this get back above 350. So that's kind of where I'm at with this one. LDI, if we reverse here, need to go back up and recapture 350. And then there was another one I was getting asked about. Kenny Rogers saying 13 predicted Costco and is it done getting clobbered? Please say yes. Let's take a look here. Did we finally lose?
We did hit 900.
Okay. Still thinking this. So I think it's still supposed to go lower, in my opinion. What's up? Were you gonna say?
I was going to say, I think I'm trying to recall, but I'm pretty sure you said 880. So we still have a little bit more room to go down.
You're pretty close. I have my level marked off at 875.
Okay, I was real close. Yeah.
The RSI is pretty low, so I could see a scenario where this bounces right from here and tries to recapture the 950 area or right about where the 50-day SMA is. If that happens to where we turn around and try to get back above there, my thought is that the price will get rejected. And I think we are going to go under 900. So sorry to be the bearer of bad news. I think that if we are going to turn around at any point soon, it'll be temporary. And then we continue to go lower as the year goes on. But 875 is my next major support area underneath 900. Okay.
All right, good stuff there. Smoke Tuna saying he's in POAIs. I know some of you folks were looking for a tuna call. Tuna saying POAI. Maybe we curl from here. I think you really need this 164 to fall. That might go back to the VWAP? Question mark?
Let's see here.
And then Tori mentioning that JFB, which we were talking about, just tanked. Weren't you saying you didn't like the look of that 13 like 3 seconds ago? It's rolled over. Really couldn't stay above its VWAP at all. Just got smoked.
Well, this was the one that was trying to get up to the 1330 area. It was at the top end of that sideways consolidation range from the pre-market. We were getting up to 13, but we were getting rejected there. No closes over 13. We actually didn't get a close over 1260. We were just getting constantly rejected there, and then it led to the downside. So those sellers up at that appears to be that in that consolidation range I was pointing out, really staunch there and not able to let up and let the price go higher. So got a rejection, lost VWAP, lost 65 EMA. We're back down at that trend line that we drew. Maybe support's going to be there. Let's see what happens out of the halt.
Okay, we'll see. That is indeed halted to the downside. Let's roll through some more here. Pot name still high. DWPX, that came in a little bit. MSS has done nothing here today. So no bueno there. Let's check back in on POAI, see if that's doing anything. That's predictive oncology. It's still sitting here. This to me seems to be the trigger there. We'll see. Brea's blasting off again.
Uh-oh. It's just getting hit left and right with, just to get people trapped in things, because I don't see really anything that's like holding on to these levels. They just have these pops and they just leak the entire time. So folks, be careful. Just don't get yourself caught in these things, please. I want to trade with you tomorrow too.
Yeah, I like the idea of people not getting caught in things. That's for sure. POAI, nothing yet, and UAI. I guess these are our two AI names. I hesitate to even say that, but they just have AI in the ticker. And UAI, this was a good mention. Tennis is Life. How you doing? This over the high from Friday here. Whoever is in NUAI, do you have any targets on this? Where you're looking to take gains on this? Honest here, that 870 looks to be your day high there, Zach. We'll see if we can get above that. It's already been a pretty good day, though. Samel says I'm deep in Brea. Hopefully it's working for you, Samel.
Yeah, it looks like resistance areas for Brea going to be 26, 26.75, and 27.50. I'd be looking at those areas next for resistance. And maybe some of these end up turning around later in the day. I don't know. But for now, they do not look like they're doing much for us. So waiting for that JFB to unhalt, see if it gets support from that trend line. Brea, here we go. We're trying to push higher. 25.55 is the current high.
That's Brea.
Mm-hmm. Ryan Summerall is saying NUA has a long hold on data center play.
Okay. That's NUAI. CPOAI. This is the only one that looked like it hits. Ooh, no bueno. Tuna, what's the move here? 138 looks to be the drop spot there. POAI is going to need some volume here. This might be toast.
I don't know where your price is, Kenny, but Costco is one of those companies that I feel will be fine. Even on downturns. So
yeah, to me, Costco's an add-on weakness. I'm with you on that, 13.
Brea printing new session highs now.
We didn't have a setup on that. I know Smell was already in it, but there was no new setup that I might have missed on that, was there? I don't think so.
And we're still trying to get some more upward price action from Score, but just be careful. This has like a 13-cent spread right now. Waiting for some things to turn around here. JFB is open, so we are trying to get some support from that trend line, but it's not looking really that great at the moment. It's trading beneath VWAP.
JFB is open.
Yeah,
take a look at that.
That's what I was just talking about. Yeah,
sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry.
No worries. Yeah, these penny names this on this day are just not really having their greatest movement. I think the concern over potential government shutdown may be weighing on some of these.
What are your thoughts about that? Do you have anything? I'm just not worried about it. Maybe I'm going to be sorry, but I'm not at all concerned about this. That's my thought.
Well, I think the thing that would be maybe troublesome for the market is that if you stop having data that the Fed relies upon to make their decisions, then this expectation of a cut in October, it's not my expectation, but everybody's expectation that has that expectation for a cut in October might be disappointed.
Yeah.
If they decide they're going to not do anything until they have more reliable data. That's just kind of where my head's at right now. So I think if anything, it's going to affect the Fed decisions.
Okay. Line here saying, be careful with the AI craze. Fact check will happen soon. I'm with you on that, but it's still an intact theme, and I am not about to fight the trend. Anyone mention NTES as a gaming play? That comes from Jay.
So this NetEase is basically a gaming company in China, and Activision Blizzard had a big deal with them. And as soon as a lot of this, kind of decoupling from China started, I think this was like, before they even merged this with Microsoft, their deal, they had a breakup. They were the ones that this is the company that was bringing all their titles to China, Warcraft, Diablo, all that. And since then, since that happened, I think the stock went down. I don't know what's turned it around yet, but essentially, this is a company that brings U.S. games to China, or has.
Okay.
So if there's some reconciliation happening between the two countries and things start to improve, I mean, this has already been on a pretty good run. Yeah, I think this could absolutely be a gaming play because it opens up the China market again to other developers, other video game companies.
Yeah.
So
good stuff there. Leandra mentioning POAI. Did we get a setup on that? Oh, no. I'll tell you what, man, this thing has been straight down since we started, since we mentioned that. Tuna, I'm sorry, man. I know a lot of those moves have been pretty sharp. This one, the opposite. Let me know if there's anything we need to look at here on POAI. I don't see anything here, guys. I see a lot of weakness. Maybe if it holds this area here, what we'll call that 140. Not liking it, though. NVIDIA call flow happening. How did NVIDIA end up resolving? Okay, so that's still higher here on NVIDIA.
So with NetEase, because I decided I was, kind of see if I could identify any trends, but there only appears to be one. That's the uptrend that we're in, and it's a broadening, wedge that we're seeing here, a broadening rising wedge, which those can be bearish, but I think it's not going to turn bearish on us for probably some time. If anything, this maybe goes up to over 200 before we start seeing a reversal.
Okay.
But this it could take a couple of years to get up there. But that's just the trend that seems to be apparent here with the price action over the past 8 years. Oh, thank you, Tom. Appreciate that.
Yep. POAI, no bueno on that thing. Oh, that thing has been straight down. Straight down. MSS, speaking of straight down, this thing holding lower here. This thing is, man, there was maybe one attempt at a bounce in there, but that was no bueno. BETR, this was another big one from last week here. This might be curling.
JRS mentioning Hood. We already saw Bull have some pretty interesting moves. Hood looking even better. 130.94 is the high of this session. And that is the all-time high. We're making new all-time highs here today in Hood. Was there news?
And they still don't have the news clusters fixed here. This is what? Oh, yeah, they do. Never mind. I'm sorry. Sorry, development team. They did get it fixed here. Let's see if there was any news here. I don't see anything fresh for today. Nope. I don't see anything fresh for today. It's just a plus 7.4% move. Lion, you like FCX. Okay, Lion adding on weakness here. FCX.
Well, I mean, we did have, so we did have a pretty nasty plunge last week. Now, Lion, you're not concerned about any potential resistance as coming back up here because, we did lose a couple of levels that were previously support. $38.50 and $40 look like those would be resistance areas. I mean, what's the horizon here for you? Is this like just a quick trade, or is this going to be something you hold for a long period of time? So you'll probably be adding more as it goes down further. If you're okay with letting us know, tell us what your plan is. Crypto bounce, okay, that makes sense. And that probably makes sense why we're seeing the movement with Bull as well. Do you have QMMM halted since Friday? I will take a look at that.
Yeah, I can take a look at that real quick here for you.
I
do. Yes.
Right now, yeah.
Yep. I have it halted and I have no price data from today. Correct.
Is there my news feed hasn't shown back up yet. Is there any news?
Just leave it on and it'll populate. It's probably trying to pull historical stuff. And if you did that on a smaller ticker, it might take longer. FYI.
Okay. I just didn't know if there was any news since Friday or over the weekend that was showing up in the news feed that indicated why it's still halted. Let's see here. And keep in mind, folks, we are past that 10:30 time of the morning where volume really does start to leave the market. So trades that weren't working out before should be probably even worse now. Let's see here.
DWTX maybe a curl? Maybe. Mr. Desto says, I decided to go with the ETF COPX instead of FCX. So it looks like you wanted copper exposure without the single exposure to FCX after the force majeure headline we got last week.
Yeah, great idea. And Lion is planning to add more if it goes down. It just kind of looks like it may get a rejection. Certainly could turn around and go back up higher from here, but that's not really into the price action right now. So I think there may be some lower prints coming. And if there is, I might even end up joining that with you. This is one of the ones that I was talking about just before Trump made that announcement about copper being a critical mineral all the way back. I think this was back in like April. He was talking about it when we traded this one last. So great trade. And I do want to take a stab at that again, but just unfortunate about the mine.
Izzy here mentioning Wi-Fi. That's WYFI. This is white fiber here. I don't see any news here. It looks like Friday we got a price target there to 32. Nice 17+% move here. Didn't have any setup for this. Nice move though on volume post that upgrade that it got last week.
Let's see, what does this company do? So basically AI cloud data centers. I mean, I don't see anything beyond that. Is that what this company does? Just owns a bunch of AI data centers, or do they build software? I'm sorry for my ignorance. I don't know anything about this company.
Yeah, I feel like we've talked about this before, but I can't place it.
Yeah, let me know if you have any. Yeah, you know, tennis is life. I'm starting to think that we may get a pretty weak beginning to the October. There was one year, I think it was 2023, a couple of years ago, where October was kind of shaped up that way, where it just was kind of ugly in the beginning of the month, and then it turned around.
And remember, with the seasonality stats, a lot of that bottoms mid-October. So if you do have weakness, it's normally the first half of October that's extremely weak, as 13 is mentioning. POAI may be here. I don't trust this.
Okay, so yeah, 2023, and I remember this because we had a Head and Shoulders, and I pretty much identified the range of where this could fall to. So did a lot of shopping this October. This was a great month. But we did start the month in a decline. We had a bounce at the beginning of the month that took us back up to 438 before we reversed and spent the rest of the month going lower. And then as the end of the month occurred, then we caught a bit, and this thing just rallied from that point on. So October sometimes, it can be a pretty good month. Seeing as how we haven't, gotten any real meaningful sell-off or downside so far, I would think that maybe we could see something similar in October, but I don't want to make that prediction because we could just continue to squeeze higher.
JFB is kind of sideways. Cannabis names still hot here. Some of them anyway. DWTX still riding that what looks like the 200 or 600 EMA. God bless it. Come on. 65 EMA, doing its best to hold above it right now.
No, Lion, that's absolutely true. The thing is that we need that. I don't know if that mine's back up and running yet. I don't believe it is.
No, I don't think so. They did the four. They basically said that they can't meet what they've said they're going to do because of that.
Okay. So while I agree with you that it's going to increase the price,
it's going to take a while.
They still need to sell that copper, and they need to extract it. And if they can't do that right now, it's not going to lead to those revenues. So I'm there with you. I get what you're saying, but we need that mine back up and running.
Rich Tech Robotics here looks like 450 is getting flirted with there. We'll see. News is back across the board. I don't have anything fresh here for RR, just news about a tweet on Friday.
Why CBD? You want some levels for that? Sure, I'll give you some levels.
The thing's just going straight higher.
It's like one of the best volume days it's ever had. Okay, so next level that we have here, we're coming up to with YCBD. This is going to be the 200-day SMA. I have that value at 194. That's pretty much in line with a lot of this consolidation that we got at the beginning of the year from about March to the end of April. That's the area right now that the price action is trying to chew through. In addition to the 200-day SMA. Now, with the RSI being as extended as it is, I could see a scenario where we do hit that 200-day SMA and then we start to back off. We don't want this RSI to be overextended for too long a period of time. So let's look at that 200-day SMA as the next level we want to at least test. If we get a backing off from there, let's see, support levels. Support would probably have to be at about 150. I think I would like it there. What we don't want to see happen now. Yeah, I think 150 would probably be the area of support I'd want to see. So we're above 150 right now. If we continue higher, 200-day SMAs, and if we back off that level, want to see 150 support. Hopefully the things work out that way. Hopefully that's information that you can trade on.
Just keeps pushing higher here.
And you know, I think I'm kind of with Lion on this one right now because today the movers haven't really moved for us very well.
I don't see any good setups.
No, and I'm thinking that instead of kind of just filling this dead air, we should probably look at some of these other names that are doing well that might actually provide some better trades. I have no problem with moving on from the movers if they are not moving.
Yeah, I mean, look, we there's never going to be a day where we just stop looking at certain things. Okay, I hate to break it to you guys.
Movers aren't moving. See you guys.
Yeah, I'm sorry to like even do this. Like, you guys have been here enough. We're going to keep checking on everything here today. If there's a stock that you think is set up, doesn't matter if it's big or small. Let us know. But we're not just going to not do something. We're going to keep doing what we do all the time.
Yeah, so we, certainly will move on from the movers. In the rare day like today, where it doesn't really provide anything, we maybe got some scalps here and there, but nothing really.
I mean, what as far as like the big names, like what are we looking at? Where's a trade setup? And I'm not talking about just like for the sake of it. Where is their setup?
Let's start with the with Mag 7. Let's start with those.
I was looking at Tesla here. Remember, we had a huge move higher. We pretty much came back down to where we opened or where we were trading sideways in the pre-market. Maybe it can move from here. I don't know. We talked a little bit about the news that was going on here with Tesla, trying to have people claim those EV credits before they expire. I don't know if that's going to have a whole lot of carry through here, but that's Tesla. NVIDIA actually made a pretty good move out of the open. 184. Yep, 184 looks to have stopped it. Still holding above its VWAP so far.
Yeah, that EV credits thing, that's, I'm sure it's going to be great for, temporarily for the stock if it gets giving that notice out to people that spurs some buying. But I guess the thought is, well, once those credits expire, are they expecting just to have sales completely tank? Is nobody going to be buying Teslas because the tax credit's not there anymore?
Okay.
I'm just kind of, thinking out loud here and just wondering if this day is kind of marking a short-term or medium-term top in the
to me, it seems like the folks that want an EV car likely going to try and take care of this before it's gone. This has no impact on those that aren't interested in EV car, meaning I don't really think it moves the needle all that much. Just me.
Lion's loading the boat on TTD.
Yeah, why though? Why are we loading the boat here on TTD? I know it's trading up here today. I'll be honest, given TTD's recent moves, I would absolutely not be buying this on a day that it's trading up. Instead, try to buy this on a day that it's down. What's different here? Have they turned it around? What's the catalyst here for buying? And don't just say because it's lower. And still go lower. What is the catalyst here on TTD? Is it this double bottom? Is it the chart? Is there something going on?
Maybe. I mean, that the double bottom is interesting. So there's that one aspect. You also have the price trading above the 20-day SMA for the first time since it gapped down, knifed on August 7th. So well, we need to see it close above that for the rest of the day first, but it's starting to show some signs of turning around. So I'm not, I'm not going to completely poo-poo this thing. I think though that if this does kind of turn around and come back up, there's going to be some resistance between 55 and 56. That's
sorry, answering a question for work.
Nope. Yeah, I mean, the chart is kind of indicating a bit of a reversal here with TTD. Now, I don't know how if this is going to continue to go into the 60s, 70s, or anything like that. But for now, it looks to me like there's a good shot that this could get to 55 to 56.
Okay, so Lion says, look at the chart. It's saying it all.
Right.
Okay, so it's the double bottom that you really like there, TTD.
And if we do get that, reversal, it takes us up to 55, 56, and we get rejected there. We have another reversal pattern potentially showing up. That's still going to take some time, but it would start to look a little bit better. So just something to watch for here. I'm not going to take a position in this, but if certain things start to happen over the next 30 days where it looks like this is reversing,
okay,
might be worth a trade.
Okay, so double bottom, possible swing long setup there, TTD.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Any chance for DWTX above $9 today? Where are we at right now with that?
The DWTX is still riding its 65 EMA.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to make any predictions. Let me just think here.
YCBD halted to the upside 188 on volume, by the way.
There is a bit of a trend line here with DWTX you can draw. It's from the pre-market high through the session high. And I'll say that if the 65 EMA does continue to provide support to where this turns around and starts recapturing the 9 and the 15 EMAs and goes on to recapture the VWAP, which would be a breakout over this trend line, then I'd say probably you get some 950 prints, because that's the next area beyond VWAP where there's resistance. And it's been providing resistance in the pre-market and when we had that first regular session print. So that's kind of where I'm at with DWTX. We have to hold the 65 EMA. We have to recapture the 9 and the 15 EMAs. We have to recapture the VWAP.
A lot of work that this thing has to do, it seems.
Yeah. So, and it could certainly do that, but we need volume for all those things to happen. So I think the best answer to your question is when you start to see that volume expand to where it starts recapturing these levels, then you may be seeing that 9 print coming. So just something to watch for here. But it's got to get through all that first, and we need the volume to do it.
KOPN at the highs here after that news that we talked about earlier. Izzy screaming about Wolf with the WOLF, Wolf speed. Why do I have what looks like a broken chart here? Was this thing halted over the weekend?
This thing just go from 140 to almost.
No, is this a split?
Maybe. Let's take a look. I bet it is.
I don't have any
calendar.
I don't have any news for that. Corporate move to amid bankruptcy.
No, it is not a split. Unless there's some bankruptcy restructuring news coming. This is when this thing's facing bankruptcy. You'll have to let me know. I'm not sure why we're suddenly up $18, $19.
I don't think that we actually are.
Oh, is this? You believe it's a misprint?
Yeah, I think that there's something screwy going on here, and I'm sorry that I don't know what the answer is right off the bat. Notice of removal from listing and/or registration.
It's trading right now. It's trading right now at these prices. I don't think this is a misprint. It's trading right now at these prices.
Yeah. So, okay. So Izzy saying it's not being delisted.
It's going to halt again.
New shares, says Matt.
Dilution?
No, it's halted. Wolf not delisted. Izzy, the all caps, bro. Can you please stop the all caps, please?
This sending it up on dilution was kind of one of the wildest things I've heard so far this morning. But I mean, I don't know if that's what's going on here. Yeah, I'm sorry I don't have the news on this.
I'm sorry. Okay, it says it's popped 1,300% here. Looks like it's halted to the downside now.
That's recently had a 50% of the float shorted, but only one day to cover. I don't know if it's a short squeeze or what, but yeah. Wolf, what the F seems to be the most of the posts on. Yeah, so it doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of people that know what's going on with this. Like exactly. I know that we're seeing some things here. Yeah, I'll take a look at tech in just a second, Edward. See if we can get an idea of what's happening here with Wolf Speed. Still don't have my news showing up.
You should refresh. The news has been back for a while. I've confirmed it. It's working for me here. You absolutely should. Just try refreshing your platform.
All right, there we go. Okay, so I got to look at that one stock here in just a second. Okay, well, you take a look at that. Maybe there's something in one of these earlier filings, like there's a Form 8 from September 24th. I don't know if there's anything in there, but this seems like it's one of the situations where one of these answers might be in one of these filings. So I'd have to spend some time doing that, and I can't do that right now. Let me look at this other one here. Where'd it go? What was it?
BMNR, by the way, this at the highs. This is actually having a pretty nice move on its pullback to the VWAP. Justin Bourne says, any comment on Ondas and its growth potential? Dude, really? Like I've been pounding the table on that for years and its growth potential, and it's finally working out.
All right, so I'm looking at Tech Resources right now. Don't know what this company's about. It looks like it's in the metals and mining space. Miner with copper and zinc operations in Canada, the United States, Chile, and Peru. So maybe FCX's demise is this stock's gain, I guess. But copper, critical mineral, United States operations, love to see it. Is there anything else that this company does, or is it just? Oh, they also had an oil sands business at one point. They had a coal business at one point too. So and they're emerging with Anglo American. There's so many different things going on with this. I'm not sure what's going to happen with this, but I can give you some technical information and kind of leave it there, because there seems to be a lot of things happening with this company that could affect the price. And I don't know where it could go, because I haven't looked into that enough yet. So let me just tell you what I see with the technicals, and we'll just leave it at that. Right now, we do have an RSI over 73, so it is getting a little bit extended here. But this is a nice day for the stock, because for the first time, and if it closes above it, for the first time in a while, it looks like since February, we are poised to close above the 500-day SMA. Which would be a pretty interesting recapture here. Now, we do have some resistance we're coming up to in the 40s, the mid 40 handle. The top of this chart, the highest price action it had was up in the 55 area, and that was a double top that appears to have resolved. So let me just double check and see if we got that kind of resolution after here. That was about a 20% move, and we got more than that as a resolution. So yeah, I think if we can close above this 500-day SMA and hold above there, the next area that looks like it could provide resistance is going to be about 43 to 48.
Okay. Good stuff there on tech. 13.
No problem. Wolf hearing delisted. Yeah, that's what I thought was going on with Wolf, is that it's going through bankruptcy and could potentially get delisted.
And I went through some of the comments on FinTwit, and there's just as, it's mostly bot stuff and the WTF stuff, like the producer had said earlier. So I'm not sure there's anything good there that we can get off of X on that. EWTX might be curling there. BQ getting a mention here from WIS.
Izzy, you were asking me about PayPal. Nice thing about PayPal today is that it's trading above the 50-day SMA for the first time since July. So that's encouraging of for this to turn around and go higher. This thing has been kind of sideways since July, with a low print of looks to be about 65.25. But if we can start to recapture this 500-day SMA, we have the 200-day SMA above it at 73.43. And I have a horizontal line that I have marked off at 75. Those are the next two resistance areas that I have. And if we manage to get above the 200-day SMA, guess what? We've got a gap fill that fills all the way up at beyond that $75 level. It's going to fill at 78.22, it looks like. So gap fill from, what is this, about 72. So you got about a $6 gap fill there in PayPal if we manage to break over 72, 73. I don't know.
I was trying to trade this for the gap fill the last time that I did a PayPal trade. It just kept going sideways and rolling over here. You're spot on with that, 13. Maybe we get it this time. PayPal's having a really nice day today. I like this long term, but man, the stock has really been struggling recently. Maybe this will be the first thing that starts it. Last time here, I was literally trying to take the trade for exactly these areas that you're talking about. Those calls expired worthless.
Yeah, I think this has to hold above the 50-day SMA. Ideally, it doesn't go beneath 70 for some time. Oklo pulling hard off Friday's high. NVIDIA was given an upgrade, says Andrew Senior TV. Wiss is mentioning BQ.
BQ, I couldn't find any news for that. It's just a bunch of SEC forms. Marcus here mentioning I've got ON with a double bottom on the hourly. So a potential trade here on ON. This is the double bottom he's looking at.
So BQ, this is a play on pets. This has pet products through online stores, provide pet foods, health products, grooming products. So if this is moving, what's Woof and Chewy doing? What's Petco and Chewy? So Petco looks like that's up slightly, 1.4%. Chewy is
this had a good move
flat.
recently, didn't it?
Well, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, last couple of days, because we talked about Chewy a little bit last week. Oh man, I got all sorts of problems going on here. We talked about Chewy last week here. This actually did a pretty good job holding 34. It looks like it's trying to take the next leg higher here. Still think 42 and a half, probably your next resistance area on Chewy. No position on this one, unfortunately.
I'm going to flip read on this. Let me see what my broker says. 2.8 million.
Is that for BQ?
Mm-hmm. It's open now. Geez, all-time high on this one is that I have it at 989. We're not far away. Maybe this goes to 10. Let's see here. Wait a minute.
What's up? What do you need?
Sorry, I'm just reading some things.
All
here.
good. All good. I'll keep rolling through stuff here.
I was checking to see if this was a SPAC, but I don't think it is. But it's saying that it merged with Justice Holdings and Burger King and became Burger King symbol. That doesn't seem right. But anyway, BQ still trying to push higher. 989 is the all-time high, and we keep pushing in that direction. So maybe it hits it and hits 10.
Wolf halted down again. Look at this. I mean, this is just, there's no trade here, folks. There's no trade here. Producer saying NYSE to delist Wolfspeed common stock effective October 10th, following emergence from Chapter 11 and reincorporation in Delaware.
Ooh. Yeah, and now that's got a nasty halt to the downside.
September 29th. with shareholders to receive substituted new common stock under the reorganization plan.
That'd have been cool if you could have shorted this thing. I don't know if you could get any shares for it, but that would be
I was
cool.
going to say, I don't think you were able to get borrows on that.
Let's see. Looks like Brea has been kind of leaking. Did BQ actually hit that? Nope. Pretty close, though. Pretty dang close. I have 970 as the high for BQ. The all-time high is 989. Make sure you're paying yourself, folks. I do not know where this goes. So we were talking a little bit about healthcare recently. Oscar here, which has really kind of gone back and forth from the slow teens handle up towards 20, seeing a bunch of put flow in OSCR here today. Actually, I have kind of a near term, kind of a nasty trend line here, lower facing trend. We'll see. OSCR, not great. Yeah, Marcus here. Wolf was a pump and dump du jour. That's what I thought too. I don't think there was anything serious here with Wolf. I really don't. ZURA, we looked at this one earlier this morning. This has been turning around. It just recaptured its VWAP about 15 minutes ago. 411 is the pre-market high. It's heading in that direction. So if this continues to get some volume, we might see that print again.
All right. 13, any closing words for the group? Because I agree with Tom here. Time went by just way too fast today.
Yeah.
It was enjoyable. But any closing words here for the group, 13?
You know, I had a great time sitting on my hands today, folks. Probably the best time I've ever had doing that. You know, fortunately, it's because all y'all are here. So, you know, if I have to come back here and do that again, I won't mind. I love looking at stocks, love talking about them, love talking to you guys. So, folks, have a wonderful rest of your day. We'll be back tomorrow with some more movers, hopefully some ones that'll make us some money. Until then, take care, everybody. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Yeah, really good stuff, 13. I know not a whole lot here. We can't control that. We will try to make the most out of it. We'll see what tomorrow brings. 13, really good stuff here today. We'll see you later tonight on Happy Hour. And then again in PreMarket Playbook tomorrow. We'll be back for that. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your Monday. Enjoy the football. May all of your bets hit if you place them. We're going to do Trader Bacon next. Stay green, stay safe.